Hello, welcome to another episode of XenoChat. I am one of the hosts, Tyler, along with my co-host, Justin.
Hey everyone.
Alright, and we're back for part 3 of Love, and we've got our returning guests. First up, we got Kat.
Hello.
And then we got Mary.
Hi.
And we got Nick.
Yep, they couldn't get rid of me.
And we tried, believe me.
No.
Oh no, we appreciate you being here. Okay, so this episode, we're focusing on Love Part 3, because, there's a lot of love in the Xeno series.
I love you all.
Oh, all of you guys.
I love you too, man, and all of you guys.
We got a real romance moment going on here.
I love you and all you guys.
This is so much
I love you too, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, before we get into that, we've got just a tiny bit of news, and it's just something I've been wanting to gush about, and that's the painted Cosmos figurine from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and she looks gorgeous. I mean, come on. She looks awesome.
Yes.
Like, she was already beautiful enough with the
amazing.
details, and then they painted her, and it's just like, oh my god, I didn't think it'd get any better. Just wish
Do we know how much that's going to cost yet?
No.
Probably as much as the other two when they released, so a lot of money.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
probably as much
Many
as
dollars.
the Pyra and Mithra, because they were...
It's okay. She's
$599.
she's my waifu. She's my waifu, so I'm gonna throw all my money at my screen when it comes out.
Same.
I'm going to
Same.
scrape the bottom of the barrel for that money. If I have to.
Yeah, I wish they would give a release date or something, but it's kind of still up in the air. But
Yeah, figurines are often like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dang. Alright.
And well, if you don't want to wait for that and you want a Cosmos right now, I just saw an Ami Ami,
Mhm.
the Kotobukiya Xenosaga Cosmos version 4 Extra Coding Edition is up for pre-order.
Oh yeah, that comes out in October, or...
October.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Alternatively, you can really get into sculpting and make your own.
Yes. That's the only way I get any figures of my own terrible boyfriend and or girlfriend.
There you go.
Unfortunately, I'm not that
But aside from
skilled.
that,
Yeah, I think that was the only other Xeno news, unless anyone else can think of anything.
well, I was gonna add for those who
Oh,
have patience to mount kits and stuff, like the scale of Xenoblade X and Siren from Xenoblade 2 are both still available online, and they are currently on sale. Siren is available only on Oblink Japan. I usually look only Oblink Japan and Miami, but it's available on Oblink Japan and it's on sale, and the scale is available on both places, but it's cheaper on Miami.
Oh yeah, that scale is cheaper than I have seen it any time I've looked it up, just about, actually, so...
Yeah, they're probably having like extra stocks and they want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been tempted in the past, but I've heard Justin's experience with that scale, and
I mean,
I don't know.
it is the formula. I'm just kidding. I like the formula, but I mean, come on. Can we get like the Layla or the Amdusius in there?
The other ones
something?
too.
Oh, I'm really...
It's kind of a shame that we never got to see more scales than the formula. Because I feel like...
I would have wanted the bunny one.
Yeah, the
Oh,
bunny
yeah.
one was awesome.
Yes.
That was one of the ones I used.
That
Oh,
was
yeah, that
probably
one was
would be
great.
my favorite.
I used that one mainly because I found it was the one that looked the most like Asher because of the ears. I was just like, because Asher has some kind of like antennas or something, and I was like, it's like the antennas. I'm gonna call him
I think
Asher.
that's the Varus, if I'm not mistaken.
I like that one because that character reminded me of a character from a very obscure PlayStation game that I really like called Jumping Flash, where you play as a robot rabbit. And so when I played Xenoblade X, I actually painted that character like Robert from Jumping Flash. So,
Nice.
yeah, I have some pictures of it, so if I could get some more screenshots, maybe I'll upload it, and if we're doing a YouTube version of this episode, we can put it in.
Did you
Okay.
skip getting
It
the
also
fly
reminds me
module
of,
just
like,
so you can make it jump everywhere?
Yeah, it can fly.
Close enough.
It can also remind me of, is it Barrios from Appleseed, or or I forget if that's the name of the character, but
Oh, Boreas?
yeah, it reminds me of him a little bit too.
That's cool. Wait, so does Boreas from Appleseed also have ears? Because there's that blade that looks like a rabbit called that. That's kind of interesting. Does the Appleseed Boreas also like food?
I don't
remember that.
I don't think he is able to consume food because he's like a cyborg, but I'm not certain.
Well, I didn't mean to jump ahead, but Boreas is in love with food, so that's off the list. We can cross that one out.
Okay. And then, were you guys going to go into your XenoCon experience that you guys just had, or?
I mean, yeah, it happened, sort of.
It was like, Otakuton was like, it's fine, and fire everywhere.
Oh.
Fire everywhere?
What was mostly me not being fully ready, and like, pretty much finishing parts of cosplay every night.
Oh.
Just me being
I thought there was
stupid
an actual, like, con fire.
No, it's just the usual fire that cosplayer experience. But yeah, aside from that, we did go as Margie and Bart again on Friday.
Nice.
And we did get to see some people that did recognize. Like, there was one dude that did not speak, and he had like a Borderland cosplay, I think. And he took a picture, but he never spoke, so we didn't know if he just thought the cosplays were cool or if he was actually a fan. So we're like, oh, okay, cool, bro.
Oh, yeah, that guy. But, dressed up as the Borderlands psycho.
Aside from that, I think there's one other dude that took a picture of us, but there's one specific girl that we met outside the con, actually, as we were trying to get into a place that was, like, full of people for bubble tea. And, like, she was like, oh my god, they're coming out, and she was fangirling because, she was a big fan of Xenogears, and she said how she wanted to maybe at someday, like, cosplay one of the elements. I think she said she wanted to do, I forgot her name, but Bunny Girl.
Seraphita. And
there you go.
I don't remember if you mentioned, but we were Margie and Bart.
Okay. Yeah, I did.
I didn't hear, sorry.
But yeah, aside from that, the other Xeno adventure, so far as it goes, is we met on the same day the voice actor of Chaos from Xenosaga 1.
Yeah.
And I forgot my game like an idiot, but like I actually at least got a picture with him, so I'm happy.
Yeah, Derek Steven Prince.
But afterwards, when we went into the dealers, it was kind of pretty like what, because the first few shops we got into, like, they had art books of Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 1. Like, every single art book shop had them, and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And even the first shop had, I think, the OST from Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Oh,
and
nice.
And one of the figurine booths really mind-blown me, because they had pretty much all of the huge figurine of Cosmos and the one Telos that came out, and it was just like, I was dying, but at the same time, I didn't buy anything there because I found, like, for example, I really wanted to maybe get the Gatling gun Cosmos from version 4, but, like, the guy wanted, like, 200 USD for it, and I was like looking online, the prices were cheaper online. I was just like, well, you know, dude, the prices are cheaper online, could you make me a price? I didn't want to, so I tried. But yeah, but he had like basically the Gatling gun version 4, the version 1 altar, and the swimsuit from Xenosaga 3 version. He had Telos, and was there another one? I forgot.
He had those mini gacha Cosmoses, but...
Yeah, but these, I look at them closely, and I think these were actually copies. I think he got ripped or something, because the paint job did not look quite as clean as the ones I have.
Yeah, she was turning, her spine was turning a little more than usual, I think, too.
Yeah, and that's usually a red flag, because the copies of figurines usually are made of a plastic that's a bit cheaper, and whenever figurines have weird poses, it tends to just bend or something. So that's usually a good red flag to look for.
Cosmos Cirque du Soleil edition.
And big figurines usually, like, even with the Cosmos Gatling, my first reaction was to look around the old box and look for the sticker, the official sticker. So, but yeah. So I saw those. It was cool. I didn't buy any, but it was cool. We saw some very rare, but some Xenoblade art, which we bought. We bought some, but actually, it was one artist that did swimsuit version of the girls, and we were just like, yeah, nah. And we found a cool Mitra one that we bought. I wish I had the card in front of me to say the name of the artist, though, but I don't. And I think, there was also a girl that drew Noma, but that was the one I bought from G Anime, so I think, the same artist also came to Otakuton. So, that's pretty much everything of the Xeno merch I saw in the dealers, and pretty much cried because it was like, it's so expensive. But it's okay. Like, to be honest with the figurines, like, if I was rich, I would have bought them all, but I'm not that rich. So I'm just gonna, like, hold off and, like, look online instead for better prices.
I did take note of the artists' names, but unfortunately I did not go through and to remember which one of them that one was that did the Numa, but we did recommend to him that he do more Xenoblade art next year, so we did our job.
Good.
No, the Numa was a different artist, actually. It was a girl at, like, one of the earlier row. The guy you're mentioning is the one that did Mitra.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay, but you said Numa. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. That was
you did your just duty as a Xeno fan and told him to make more art of Xenoblade.
Yes, I said, people will love Zeke. You want to get some female fans in here? Just put up the Zeke. You want to get some male fans in here? Put up more Zeke.
Yeah, he needs to do Zeke and Pandoria together doing a goofy pose. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Aside from that, the rest of the weekend was not really Xeno related, and we were pretty much like going around into our other cosplay, meeting with friends, having a photo shoot of 3 hours on Saturday.
Oh, dang.
It was supposed to be 1 hour, but we were a pretty big group, so it ended up being like taking like 3 hours of our time, but it's okay. It was pretty fun.
Our photographer was a Gears fan.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It's like, don't photographers charge by the hour? Did you guys have to pay more for it?
Well, he pay, basically how he works and how a lot of photographers work, they usually charge a base price for like a group of 2 or 3.
Okay.
And then per person that adds up, they charge extras. Like, it's usually like 20 extra something, because I think they pretty much know that it's gonna take more time. Okay. And his next shoot was only much later, so he was like, it's fine.
Yeah. He's good.
That's awesome.
It was actually the same guy that did our pictures of Margie and Bart last year, I think.
Oh, cool.
So basically, he knew us, and he was pretty cool. Was pretty chill too, as usual.
Very good.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, sounds like you guys had a really good time.
Look. Yeah, it was fun.
We did find a few more Monado Archives art books at the art book table also. I feel like more than we saw the last few years, but yeah, that was great.
You know,
I wonder if there was a reprinting.
I think there was.
To be honest,
because
to be honest, like, even at Anime North, like, and my other cons, like, every art bookshop often had them. So I think there's just been a lot of issue, like, pretty much reprinted or something, and just all the shops currently have them.
Yeah, they've been appearing on Amazon a lot lately, and I've noticed that with the soundtracks too. They've been getting them. Although for some reason, I actually can't seem to find any of the art books. Like, I search all the Japanese import shops out in my area, and none of them ever seem to have it. So I always find it really weird when I'm hearing people say, oh yeah, I found like perfect archives, like all over here. I found all the Monado books, and I'm like, where is all this stuff? I know it's online and all these stores have it there, but For some reason, no one seems to have it in stock out here.
Did you manage to get the
Sucks.
Xenoblade 2 one?
I didn't get that one yet, but I do know it's still available online.
Okay, good. Because we did find it in a few places there too. But
It's just, of course, in shops it's often more expensive than when you actually pre-order it.
Yeah.
Because when you pre-order it, it's like I was really mind blown at how I paid barely like 30 something Canadian, like maybe like 35 Canadian for me, but like for the Xenoblade 2 hard book, and then I go into cons and they sell it at like 80. I'm just like, I'm just like, yay.
I think they wanted like 50 for the Xenoblade 2 one in a few places.
No, it was a little more than that from what I remember.
I was surprised I found it when I visited Tokyo. I just found it for like $30 USD, and it's like, oh, I'm used to like when I bought Perfect Works several years ago, I paid like $70 or $80 for that. So I'm like, wow. I'm gonna.
One time at Otakon in, I think, the early 2000s, I saw a copy of Perfect Works, like the first printing, for like $300.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was very torn, and I decided not to get it, and I regretted it until they reprinted it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they reprinted it.
Talking about the reprint of that, like the first year I went to Otakon, actually, like it was pretty much at the same time as the reprint, and I didn't even know there was a reprint, and it was there in my face. I was just like, I look at the huge pile of Perfect Work, I was like, what? Where did this come from? Because I knew it was going for like super expensive online before. I was just like, what? But I already had it at that time, so I did not like get it, but I was really like amazed by that huge pile of Xenogears art book. I was just like, what?
Yeah, it got stupid for a while, like price-wise. I remember when I was in Japan a couple of years ago. Wow, time flies. When I was in Japan, and actually it wasn't a couple of years ago, it was last year. When I was in Japan, I was at Book Off, and they had a Perfect Works, and it was like behind a glass container. And I remember it was going for like, I think it was over 150 USD or something really like insane. Something that I was not about to pay. And yeah, I think it still goes for a decent amount of money these days.
Yeah, it's because I think the reissue stocks pretty much got eaten over, so the prices pretty much went back up now to what they were.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's enough on that. I think it's about time we move on to our subject of today. So yeah, Love Part 3. Part 1 covered Xenogears, Xenosara, and Xenoblade 1, and Part 2 only covered Xenoblade X. And today we're hopefully gonna
Which was surprising.
Yes, that was totally surprising. Thank you, Nick, for that.
Xenoblade X is the coldest Xenoblade for sure. There is definitely no love in that entry at all. You know.
All right, and well,
you really gotta dig.
Gotta dig. Well, thank you for diving in and salvaging what you could.
No, it's no problem. It's no problem.
Yeah, but today we're gonna cover Xenoblade 2, and hopefully we also have time to cover Torna as well. So, Love in Xenoblade 2. Do we talk about the big kind of debate about the main love in this game, but do we want to tackle that first, or?
I guess so.
What, Rex and Pyra?
Yeah. Like, do you consider them a couple?
Okay, so I personally didn't see Rex and Pyra's love as romantic love.
Agreed.
And there's a few reasons why. One, I don't think Rex even knows what romantic love really is.
Yeah, it's really dense.
And it's not even just because he's dense, it's just that's just his upbringing. Like, he's never really had an opportunity to learn what love was. He just knows salvaging.
Yeah.
And also, Pyra, from her end, I don't think she necessarily loves Rex in a romantic way. It's more of a, here's this boy that I care about and want to protect. And there's various reasons for that, especially after the end of Torna, which kind of puts that into more perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we should be talking about the end of Torna yet, since that game is still kind of newish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it'll be having isn't its release date anniversary soon?
Yeah, it's very soon actually.
Yeah.
Like 13th of September or something?
Yeah.
Well, if people are concerned about spoilers, we should save that for last. But...
Yeah.
Okay, well, for right now, we're going into Xenoblade 2 spoilers, but when we go into Torna, we'll probably go into Torna spoilers.
We'll just... Yeah, alright, so we'll just leave it at that.
Framework.
Pyra, obviously, she likes Rex because she thinks he's a good boy, and she wants to protect him, and he's helping her do what she wants to do.
Pure heart.
It's kind of like a Edwardian or Elizabethan era, like chivalrous idea of courtly love. That's what I felt between the two. Like, not like, oh lol, we're dating, we're modern daters. Right. It's just like, no, it's just like Rex is a worthy person, and like I was surprised. Like, even me, I don't like protagonists usually, but I loved Rex because he was just a worthy kid.
Yeah.
And he it sort of seemed like he was kind of shoved into this like sub-ecchi like situation with all these like booby girls, but he's not a pervert. And I was just really impressed by that.
Yeah, actually, not a single time does it really even reference like these characters like their assets or anything like that, except for I guess that one scene where Mithra wakes up next to him. I guess that's the closest we've ever come to something like that, but
yeah, and that's like something that she did, not Rex.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
That was the nosebleed scene.
Huh.
You! How did you... What are you doing in my bed?
Wait!
Get out! Interloper! Monster!
Wait a minute, would you? Ow! You're the one in my room. The guy's room, see?
Huh?
Like, Rex is guilty for jumping out of bed startled.
Though there is that one scene where he attacks Gramps because Gramps was talking about how they're going to make money to help Tora, and then Pyra was suggesting something. Then Gramps makes like an off-key joke, which is interesting because in a Japanese version, I believe it's implied that he thought Pyra was going to suggest that she was going to sell her body, and then Rex karate chops him.
I believe that's exactly
whereas the English version. In the Japanese version, they're a little bit more explicit about that, but in the English version, they kind of toned that down a bit.
No, God, she meant baking.
Yeah.
She's really good at baking, come on. I mean, like, if you were Rex's age, though, what's not to like about Pyra? She can both cook really well, and look at all those backflips she did at the very start of the game.
Yeah,
like,
and
that was
also,
badass.
Yeah, and also, like, she genuinely cares about him, like...
Yeah.
If Rex gets hurt, Pyra is the first person to be there and try to console him and try to help him get better.
Yeah,
for sure. Their relationship is really cute.
It's almost like a big sister type of thing, or even you could even look at it as a motherly love type of thing too.
Yeah, that and like just how she's like very like she comes off as very like shy and modest. On a character level, I should put on the modest part, just about the way she acts and Rex's, like her feeling unsure, seeming like she's feeling unsure on a lot of things. A lot of the time with Rex, like paired with Rex's unending optimism is, it's like it works together. There's like a nice, they complement each other, really, is how I would put that.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, when you consider Torna's ending, that also puts that into perspective as well. Kind of adds a new layer to it.
Yeah, because of, like, I won't go into details right now, but because of what she lived back then. Like,
Right.
I feel like she kind of puts a bigger weight on her shoulders in a way to kind of protect him and stuff.
And that's why I kind of really hate when I see people talk about Xenoblade 2 and so many people kind of write Pyra off as, oh, look at her, she's waifu bait, lol. She's the perfect girl, lol. When it's like, well, she actually played the game. There's quite a bit more to her than that, and there's kind of a reason for why she's the way she is.
Yeah. And, like, it was very easy to, like, come away with the idea that, oh, yeah, this is just going to be, like, another series where everybody would just want to jump on the protagonist that looks too young for jumping on. But Xenoblade 2, actually, if you play it, it's absolutely not that.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
And, well, there's also...
Oh, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, it's just like... There's also, like, they could have easily made her into, like, a manic pixie dream girl archetype, and they really didn't. It's kind of, like, honestly, she does get a lot of flack, but she's really, and yeah, she's very, like, soft-spoken in a lot of ways, but she's kind of unique in a lot of ways, too, just in being the way she is, I feel like, because usually you see that in, like, some side characters and stuff like this, I feel like, and she's, like, kind of front and center more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we treating both Pyra and Mithra as the same person in this situation, or?
I mean, I
Well,
don't want to upset the
they are
fans.
kind of the same person, but they are not at the same time.
Right.
So I guess we could move on with Mithra and, I don't know, add a bit up to it. Well, actually, Mithra is your typical tsundere. But I kind of like her regardless.
Well, the thing with Mithra was, she kind of subverted my expectations a bit. Mainly because when I first was introduced to Mithra, and yes, she was very much being your tsundere archetype, she kind of toned it down significantly as the game went on. And it's something that I think is, at least to me, I found it kind of rare to see that in
I think it's mostly that, at first when she came out, she was upset and stuff, and she took a while to kind of get used to the group, and once she got used to them, she kind of calmed down a bit, I
Correct.
guess. I feel like it's something like that.
So you could, I guess, like the way I would look at it is, when we're initially seeing Mithra, it's like we're finally seeing the real Pyra. Like, this is who she actually is. This is the kind of person that she actually is. Like, this person that we've seen before that is presented as this perfect Miss Perfect. Look at me. I'm pretty. I'm hot. I can cook. But then we're seeing this woman who is a lot more obnoxious. Someone who is very sarcastic, very sassy. She is a ticking time bomb ready to explode and isn't really going to take anyone's nonsense. And eventually, I guess, maybe Mithra herself realizes that she doesn't want to hurt these people. And she doesn't want these people to dislike her because they're now seeing the kind of person that she is. And as we know from Torna, I know, I'm sorry, I keep coming back to this, but
but it's hard not to.
But it's hard not to because that explains so much of her character, and that's such a big portion of it. And
we can come back to her.
Torna does a lot to frame her, to like set up her character arc even more than it already was kind of in 2, because I feel like she goes through like a really interesting character arc in 2 alone, but Torna makes it like make that much more sense.
Right. Exactly. So I guess what I was trying to say was, Mithra, she realized that everyone's starting to see who she truly is, and she kind of doesn't want history to repeat itself. And I guess because of that, she realizes, look, I need to clean up my act. And ever since then, she's acted significantly better, so to speak. She wasn't nearly as mean to Rex for the rest of the game. She's not nearly as mean to the other characters for the rest of the game. I think she really learns to grow, and I guess in a way kind of take Pyra's characteristics and adapt it to herself.
One thing that comes to mind about this actually is there's a late game cutscene that's kind of almost like was it a dream sequence? It's the one where Pyra and Mithra kind of switch personalities a little bit, I believe.
Is that the one, like, right before we meet the architect?
Yes, that's when they meet him, I think, or
Okay.
right about when they're about to meet him, and
It's like the test they do to see their mental straight, basically.
Yeah. And it's the one where Rex cries, significantly cries anyway, as far as I can remember, like, that one was really interesting. It said, I don't know, it did some interesting things to mix things up about how Rex felt about them, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that was, it seemed like one of the more intentional, like, ways of the architect asking, hey, which one do you like better? And Rex is like, I like them both, they're my friends.
Yeah, basically. That scene was really cute and really like, please don't cry. But yeah. Should we move on to the fusion of both?
There's more I would say about Mithra, but it will have to wait until after we get to Torna.
Technically, fusion of both is kind of like basically a bit of both in one person. But yeah. I'm not exactly sure what to fully say about Norma, because basically she appears more more endgame whenever you go and save Pyra, and she transforms into that as I think Rex had like unlocked her power or something. But yeah, and then they go with her. Yeah, after the fight they get stuck down there and they go back up the world tree and stuff. But I find the Norma and Rex are like pretty cool. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going myself with this, but yeah, I just love how Norma is basically like she has a bit of both Mitra and Pyra, and she's kind of very sweet and stuff. Like I feel like she basically represents the full personality of them in general.
I think
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to add that I think that, like, as far as cutscene stuff with Numa goes, her most telling one was probably just her self-sacrifice one at the end for Rex. And unfortunately, we don't get to see a lot that she's just in actually doing more than action kind of stuff, but
yeah,
I felt that one would probably be about the most telling of who she is, and I mean, other than what we get from Pyra and Mithra.
Yeah, because I mean, in game itself, like you get her only like whenever you have your special ready, so you don't really get too many combos with Numa alone or something like that, except in the end game, anyways.
Yeah. I almost feel like the point of Numa was just to show that everybody is accepting both Pyra and Mithra as one entity, and they're just kind of acknowledging that it's all one being. And I think the most important person being Numa herself is accepting both sides of her. Like she's accepted her past, and she's accepted that persona that she created as Pyra as not just a persona, but also just who she is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the more perfect the more realized, self-accepted version of the two personalities together, I guess.
Yeah. She's also so pretty.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the, I guess, like, that's one of the more unspoken themes of Xenoblade 2 is self-acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
A lot of people, I feel, don't really talk about that, but yeah, that's definitely a major theme there.
Yeah, now that you speak about it, like, I think about the characters, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the reasons I really love Xenoblade 2 is that it's kind of the cure for imposter syndrome, and a lot of people in our generation don't have a whole lot of capital, so they they feel like they're unworthy in general. So I think its popularity sort of like speaks to that. But like a lot of people have this problem of feeling unworthy, and Xenoblade is like, nope, you there's nothing about you that you have to do to prove that you're worthy to live, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Sometimes you
So,
just gotta go out
should
on
we
a
move
whim and
to,
do it.
Should we move to, like, I love you and all of you guys?
Oh, the kitty.
Oh god.
Rex and Nia.
I love you and all you guys.
So I think them, if there was to be a romantic duo, I would probably think it's more likely to be between them.
Mm-hmm.
But as I mentioned earlier, that scene makes it all the more obvious that Rex doesn't really comprehend romance.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably argue that Nia doesn't either, or she does, but she realizes what she said and didn't mean it in that way.
Do we know Nia's true age?
That was never revealed, actually, to my knowledge, at least.
Well, Blades that
Well, I think
gets
she's
really
pretty
tricky
old,
with.
but-
Well, yeah, but I guess, like, her age before she became the Blade.
Yeah. I mean, I would guess it's probably around Rex's age, but...
Yes, it's super hard to tell.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know. I feel like there might be a little more to it than for Nia.
Mm-hmm.
As far as her thinking romantically, because
I think so,
it's
too.
pretty clear she doesn't know how to express herself well in some ways.
Yeah.
Like she's like, hey, if Mithra's doing the tsundere thing, Nia is hitting that vibe hardcore too, you know. And
But,
that's kind
I
of
think-
typical of them.
I think what I
part
really
of
love
that.
about their relationship is how, like, you have Nia really early in the game, and like she pretty much turned from like the other bad guys just because she wasn't for what they did, and she kind of grown attached to Rex right up from the start because of how optimistic he was and stuff, and I feel like he gave her hope and stuff, and she wanted to believe in him from an early game, and I find this is really cool. Really cool.
I think the reason why Nia loves Rex so much is because Rex was someone who actively encouraged Nia to be her own person.
Yep.
I think it's very telling of Nia that she went from a group like Torna to them, because I feel like at the end of the day, she really just enjoyed feeling accepted by a group, and Rex's group just kind of did that better than the Torna group did in every way.
It's another. Go on.
So basically, what I thought was going to happen with Nia's story thread was, I thought she was going to be, like, crushing on Jin and, like, letting go of that crush as she realized, you know, these were the better people. But they didn't even do that because Jin is just so closed off.
Yeah.
Right.
Rex
And
is just the nice kid, and then Malos was the guy who's like, hey, Nia, come on, we'll go pick on some little kids. And she's like, no, I'd rather help the little kids. So she went with Rex.
Yeah, and it's another example of self-acceptance, because for a long time she wasn't going to reveal that she was a Blade, and it was kind of like that was that last thing, because I guess with Torna she felt accepted because they're all Blades, but then she kept that from Rex in the group until the very end, and that it was kind of heartwarming that in that scene where she kind of reveals that she's a Blade as well, that it didn't even phase anyone, and she's like, okay, now she feels like fully accepted into the group.
Nia.
I am burdened no longer. Not by my past, not by Jin. I am finally free.
A blade? What the?
I'm no longer afraid. This is who I am, Rex. What's the point in living if I have to hide? Thank you for helping me see. I love you, Rex.
Yeah, it's that feeling of acceptance and, like I mentioned before, independence. she doesn't have to follow the mold of Torna. She doesn't necessarily, because she realizes that their beliefs don't necessarily align with her own.
Mm-hmm.
She's not forced to stay with them, and she found this group of people who do accept her. It's kind of funny, and I know everybody makes fun of this, but she's a lot more similar to Melia than people think she is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like when they came out with her swimsuit that's Melia colored, just like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
Takahashi.
they're very similar characters. They have a similar arc. They suffer from similar things. The not being able to express yourself, unsure of whether or not they can be accepted by society, and also they're trying to learn how to be independent, be their own person.
But yeah, like basically the only difference between Nia and Melia is their personality and their upbringing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how about we go into Nia's relationship with Pyra?
To be honest, I don't really think there's much to say about Nia and Pyra.
Except they're good friends.
Yeah,
that's for
like
sure.
they're friends, they're allies, but
Yeah,
really
may see her
not
as like
much.
a rival at times
feel
concerning
more
Rex, maybe.
I feel more like Nia was actually encouraging to Pyra from what
Yeah.
I'm trying
that
to
too.
remember. Like what's coming up in my head was when she was like actually interacting with Pyra
Yeah.
is like stuff where she was like trying to encourage her when she was doubting herself, because I mean Pyra kind of did that fairly often. So
Yeah, she doubted herself, and I feel like Nya knew like exactly what that was like, so she pretty much encouraged her.
but she didn't learn until later to follow her own advice all along.
I just remember that one scene where they're like on Tontal and it's snowing, and then like Nia just like grabs onto Pyra for warmth. Like,
Oh, that's so cute, actually. I love the gifs from that.
Dromark's icy, spiky back full of needles in the cold.
poor Dromark.
Yeah.
And I have to be the gay person in the room. Yeah, ex Pyra. Okay.
I think they're cute.
Yeah.
So, should we move to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Dromark, how about
I'm never quite sure how to pronounce his
Dromark?
name. Dromark?
Dromark.
Dromark. Okay.
Drotaro.
It's just that my French mind see this and tries to say it in French.
Dromark.
But yeah.
Wow, yeah. It's like, so no matter how warm your heart is, Dromark, you still can't warm up your icy, spiky back.
He's a cute big kitty, but yeah.
Dromark is like the Alfred to Nia's Bruce Wayne.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Perfect, yes.
Oh no.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I know.
Repeated it.
It's hilarious.
But yeah,
So wait,
Yeah.
is Dromark the one who's announcing all the enemy statuses in battle?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I thought that was Azerta.
I thought so too, but like the voice is different. It's like weird because like Azerta in cutscene sounds different than that voice in battle.
Blade combo, 3rd stage. Awesome.
I could have sworn that there were... Maybe they both do? Because, like, I could have sworn I've heard Azerta be like, Rex, use fire.
Yeah.
know.
There's definitely some voice clips like that, but then there's other ones like when you topple stuff, like when you topple or smash, it's definitely, that's a different voice and it sounds closer to Dromark's.
Oh, the topple and smash stuff? I thought that was just a random announcer.
Yeah, I thought it was like a unique announcer.
I thought that was the Smash Brothers guy. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
So then,
topple.
who the hell's the announcer?
I think the Japanese.
So wait, are you telling me that Joker is in the game?
Yeah.
I feel like the Japanese
confirmed.
announcer was better for battles.
Aren't they always? Have you ever compared American Ninja Warrior to Japanese Ninja Warrior?
Oh my gosh.
Japanese
Yeah,
all the
it's
way.
no
Japanese
comparison.
Ninja
There's
Warrior,
no
yeah,
comparison.
so much better.
Like, Japanese announcer is almost always better.
Uh-huh.
The only case in which that's usually not a thing is when there is no Japanese announcer. That's the only time.
Okay, so is that all we have to say about Drommark and Nia?
I think we could probably say more.
We can probably say more, yeah, because that was a bit out of topic.
Which is fine.
But I'm trying to remember though, because thing is they come by together, but like I'm not sure I quite recall them. Like I think they do mention how they met or something, but it's kind of hazy in my mind. Like, because at some point we do get a background thing about Nia, and I think that's about when that they talk a bit about Drum March too, but I could be mistaken. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, in the short, they've been together for a long time, and Drum March pretty much know her secret since the beginning while she was hiding it. And whenever she saves like Nyal, she actually asks Drum March to like pretty much get the others away so that she can kind of transform and save him without anyone seeing. And yeah, that was the first time we see her true form, although the others had not seen it right away. But yeah, I think it was a pretty cool thing. But aside from that, they have a pretty good relationship going, where he's like, "Oh, my lady," and stuff. He's a bit like her butler or something.
Yep.
She's the princess and he's the butler. That's like, "Oh, princess, don't go this way, it's dangerous."
He's more like,
kind of thing.
"My lady," actual chivalry, not "my lady" tips fedora.
Oh god.
Oh god.
I don't know if the Japanese know of tips fedora.
Probably not. Let's hope. We can only hope some of us stay innocent to that.
But yeah, I think that's all there is much to it, except pretty much the fact that they already knew each other for a long time and know each other's secrets and stuff. So I guess that makes us go into more Ardain people.
Yeah.
Morag and Bridget.
Yes.
The realest ship.
Yes.
The best ship.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, you have to do some hoops to not read that as gay, and if that's your thing, more power to you. But oh god,
yeah, you have to jump.
You really have to think.
You have to jump through some whip hoops of fire to not think that. That was pushing it. I know.
You tried.
I tried.
But yeah, I definitely feel more of romantic feelings between those two than, say, Morag and Zeke. Like, I know that, well, that's kind of the next couple we're talking about, but when I compare the two, Morag and Zeke kind of feel more like buds or buddies, or I don't know.
I mean, nothing screams love like "go die in a fire," Zeke.
Hey, Morag, how about next time you put on a skirt and some heels?
How about you die in a fire, Zeke?
Well, there's a lot of tsundere characters in this, and that could also be read as that.
True.
And like, whoever is shipping whatever, they will find reasons to counter whatever we say.
Oh, I know that.
But
I didn't even know people shipped Morag and Zeke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're
wow.
technically both like the up and coming next rulers of their titans, right?
They're also very much the mom and dad of the group.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I wouldn't trust Zeke to be anyone's dad.
Oh, come on, he already tells the dad jokes. I mean,
That's true.
The secret is that Pandora is actually doing all the work in the background.
I mean, he shows some real dadly advice skills at the end of that game.
Yeah. And all of that is like sort of overridden by Zeke from the rest of the game.
Yes. We go from Jesse and James blasting off against Zeke to, to Zeke trying to act like Dunban over here,
No, if anybody's Dunban, it's Morag.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's great, and I have a feeling, like, in the back of my head, did they maybe design Morag as first a man? But I'm really glad that she's a girl. I'm really glad that she, like, got the chance to be adversarial for a little bit before joining the group. There's, like, the more ordained people sort of give me a like, Magus Chrono Trigger vibe, because they're a little bit haughty, but they're still your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. They
really
look
love
at the
them.
bigger picture, for sure. I actually really enjoy, I think, like, the Moradanians are probably my favorite type of people in Xenoblade 2.
Same.
And the
It
Titan.
really
oh my.
makes sense, too.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to bring up that it really makes sense that the way that they act, considering the state of their Titan, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's a dying Titan, and
Mhm.
they're, you know, they're just, they have to be kind of militaristic in a way to survive.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it also, I mean, makes it kind of harder to read Morag because she has so many responsibilities on her shoulders, and she kind of has this detached thing, and, you know, she's kind of observing the group in a lot of the game, but you can tell there's more to it than that. Like, she's not fooling anybody.
Yeah, definitely. She has more layers to that, and her relationship with Bridget toward the game is, like, really cool too. Like, I love how much, like, Bridget really cares for her, and how Mariah cares the same, and, like, both of them are just pretty much always doing stuff together and trusting each other, and, you know, they're cute.
Do you think that Morag's feelings for Bridget come from how from her seeing Morag as basically Hugo's successor?
Well,
I'm not
if
sure
Bridget,
if it's that.
if Bridget rereads her entire diary every time she's reborn, possibly not, because you know, like, Morag is definitely her own person,
Right,
and
correct.
she's way different from Hugo. Like, she's still, like, she's got a little bit of him in her, but oh god, that sounded horrible.
Oh no.
No, we get you.
No. But
We're not children here.
yes, we are.
Okay, yeah, you got me.
There's definitely the resemblance, but
Yeah, but they have a bit of a similar character, but they're both their own person regardless. And I think Bridget is more the type to pretty much go by, like, whenever she meets someone new, I feel like she's more the type to observe and get to know the person rather than, like, you know, necessarily judge right away. This like, it depends, but yeah.
Yeah,
Although
I agree.
although the first time she see, like, the main group, she does get a bit aggressive because, like, they were searched for being, like, potentially, like, dangerous, but, like, as soon as she sees that they seem to be okay along with Morag, like, and that Morag decides to let them go, she's just like, oh, whatever, you know.
You know, I agree, and actually, I like that you brought up the diary, because that kind of goes into her relationship with Pyra and Mithra, because she knows how Mithra, or rather, she knows how Pyra / Mithra really are, and I wonder if, like, in her mind, seeing them act very differently than the way they acted in Torna is throwing her for a loop, because this is basically contradicting what she has written down for them.
Yeah.
I imagine that made the fact that the Aegis had reawakened even more of, like, a wake-up call for Bridges, like, oh, hey, Lady Morag, we really do need to check into this.
Mm-hmm.
They both share her and Morag both have a very, well, I mean, and given that Bridget has been, basically every time she's been out of the core crystal, or been not just a core crystal, it's been in this kind of more militaristic society, but they both have, like, this ruthlessness to them whenever they are in battle, you know.
Yeah.
And they both share a lot of the same beliefs and, like, sensibilities about things just because of their upbringings in general, really. You just have one that has done that more times over than the other.
Should we talk also about, always have trouble with that name, Aegeon?
Aegeon.
Yeah.
Although Aegeon does not have as much screen time as Virgin, let's say.
Oh, definitely not.
And that's where Torna comes in.
A little bit, yeah. But
I'm a little crushy on Aegeon, so like I have Aegeon feelings, and I sort of like read into him a little bit more. But like
I really love his character though. Like even though we saw so little of him, like I really like his character, and I like how kind of gentleman he is.
Yeah, he's a lot more sensitive than I would have given him credit for whenever we first met him in 2. But
I also love that the Japanese voice is Char from Gundam.
Oh, it's Char! That's awesome!
Oh, we found the connection. We found why you love him so much.
No, actually, if you wanna, well, actually, I like straight shooters when I like pro tags. And if you look in the Xenoblade art book, and you look at the prototype designs for Aegeon, he has Chirenkov's hair.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Oh, of course.
But I liked him before I saw that, so it was just sort of like more icing on that very nice cake.
Yeah, I think for me it was a bit similar too, because I kind of liked his character before already, but whenever I've learned that he had the voice of Char, because I was like, the voice sounds similar, and then at some point I found out, I was like, what? It's pretty cool.
You can be a straight shooter and still have 2B dreadlock thingies.
Yeah.
Like the Predator. Like the Predator.
Like the Predator.
But yeah, aside from that, his relationship with Morag is not so much developed, I think. I think it's a bit more developed with Nyal, because that's how we get to meet him at first, because he follows basically Bridget at the beginning of the game. Like, she follows Morag, and Aegeon is with Nyal, and yeah, until that incident happens and that he turns into a core crystal, and then you can have him in your party. But even though, you know, there's not many stuff to it, although I don't think I did this quest though, so that may also be why I'm like, did they show more or did they not?
But like, I sort of see Aegeon and Bridget as co-workers who may have dated at some point, but are not dating currently.
That's hilarious.
I buy that. That's why they're never out at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, unless Rex takes over, and then they like just kind of cringe and go with it. Okay, you know, I guess so.
But yeah, I think that covers a lot of the more hardening people. I don't think there was anyone else that was as important as these. So
Gion's very soldier-like in a way.
So the next one, Zeke and Midoriya, aka the pair that keeps like going to the sky with the little click.
Yeah,
they're like two little kids.
Yes,
they're kind of cute. Yeah, they're like a Jesse and James. Very much like classic shonen recurring antagonists.
Yeah, but at the same time, like every time they would appear, I was like so happy, and I kept laughing heart loud. I was just like, when can I have them in my party? I want them in my party.
They're very fun.
Happens.
And I was like that. Midoriya, she's very much like that person who is with Zeke. She knows Zeke is ridiculous, but she plays along with it anyways.
She has to take care of him.
She's like, she's like a big sister.
Yeah, she's pretty much like, don't listen to this goof.
Based on like later quests, I think she has more for him than that. Like it sounds like the way she talks about it.
Yeah, I think she might have like feelings for Zeke actually.
Oh,
like,
I definitely.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, you big dope. He's too oblivious to even know what love is. You know.
But I think one moment also that really like slayed me is like whenever whenever you finally get to the real fight with Zeke, it's like, oh my god. That's kind of like off topic a bit, but like that one time when he comes out and he's just like, oh, I'm serious now, and he just pretty much kicked the ass of the entire group in one shot. I was just like, what? Only to then, like, whenever he gets beaten, fall to the bottom of the sea, and Pandoria being like, oh well, he'll find his way, let's go.
Hey, that's her trust level for him, you know?
I know, but sometimes I found it hilarious. I was like, oh my god, you're really abandoning him down there.
You can trust a guy like that, then you definitely love him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love their whole JoJo posing too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Zeke is Zeke is definitely like that early 2000s action game protagonist that's just really over the top, has like that really cheesy voice acting and just doing ridiculous stuff, and has like characters that play off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just have a very close relationship, and there's also the thing we did not really mention also is like whenever they had that flashback where Zeke was almost dying, and with the help of Amaltheus, I can't pronounce his name. Help.
About this?
Yeah,
Amaltheus,
thank
yeah.
you. But yeah, whenever they had his help, like to get basically a part of the core crystal of Pandoria and to Zeke, like I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool, like a pretty cool way to save him and stuff, and it shows up like how much she loved him and how much like she really wanted to save him and stuff, and I found it really cool. But yeah, I thought it was a good scene to mention too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of readdressing that later quest where I felt like she was definitely showing feelings for him. It was still kind of the whole... It was when you were in Tantal, I know, but I wish I remembered the specifics of it a little better, but she definitely gets like really like nervous and blushy and is talking to the others about it without Zeke around, basically. And just like worrying about, she's basically like worrying about Zeke and like, so is like, I've got to be here for him. He can't help himself, you know. That.
Yeah, I think I remember that scene actually. Now that you mention it, it's kind of like a bit blurry because it's been a while, but I do remember that scene. It was cute. But yeah, since you're talking about Tantal, how about we go and talk about the relationship of Zeke and his daddy, the king of Tantal.
Not the best.
Not the best indeed.
More on that. No.
Why can't we have good dads?
Never.
Well, you know, when you live in an isolationist society and disagree that it should be that way, you know, that kind of happens. There's clashing of beliefs there. His dad isn't even voiced.
Yeah, true. No, was he? No,
What?
I think he was in some scenes.
Was he?
no?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he was.
The opening cutscene would have had it. When they get
Actually, I think you're right. I think he is voiced. Sorry.
It's just not memorably.
Yeah, not memorably voiced, but totally probably voiced.
But yeah, their relationship is not the most healthy one. It's pretty much him wanting to put the weight on Zeke, and Zeke being like, bitch. I don't know. Zeke is just gonna JoJo pose and leave.
I mean, kind of good on him to make his own, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of good on him to make to make the JoJo pose and leave.
Yeah, exactly. To make his own way and disagree with his dad's, you know, kind of...
Although he still cares about his people, but he doesn't want to do, you know, he doesn't really want to do stuff in the way that his dad wants to do it, so I think it's best for him to just leave and do his own stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of get on better terms by the end of that arc on Tantal, but...
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
I definitely
do
think
get
so.
a bit better over time, though, which is cool.
what is his name again? It's like Theolonius or something.
I don't know. I
crazy
just
like that.
wrote King of Dental because I could not remember for the life of
Let's
me.
Google it.
Oh,
Let's Google it. Go Google.
I do have the wiki open.
Let's see who gets to it first.
I'll let you guys race.
Eulogimenos.
Oh, okay.
Eulogimenos.
I would never have remembered that.
no,
name.
neither would I.
Well, the town is called Theosaur.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's a dinosaur.
So, nope, sorry, I kind of bumped into something.
It's all good.
I did nothing. But yeah, shall we move to the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Echoes and Obrona, aka is Blade that eventually poop.
Do blades poop?
Ooh.
I think they do, but I meant more in the way of like,
She
not
died.
being there anymore.
Yeah, she died really quickly. Like, it's
My.
really a shame how much personality they put into Obrona for her to die really early
Yeah,
on.
but I think I was like, I wish I could have gotten that blade because I loved her design so much. It was like,
Well, you can.
Yeah,
You can?
You can in a new game plus.
Mhm.
that's why I never saw it because I haven't done a new game plus yet because I'm like, I know it's gonna suck up another $200 for me,
Right,
which I don't
yeah.
have.
Yeah, I haven't done it either because I hate this game for this. So I haven't done it because I was working on maxing out affinities for all the other characters I have, and then I end up getting new rare blades, and then I get new affinity charts, and then new quests open up, and I gotta do these now, and then I do that, and then I get a new rare blade, and then a new affinity chart opens up.
Yup.
I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I spent just on Ursula.
Oh god.
Oh, God.
I didn't even try.
I gave
I
up
haven't
on her
done
for
it-
now. I gave up on
I haven't
her
done
for
it for
now.
the exact same reasons, and I keep on also hearing like a lot of conflicting things about what actually transfers to New Game Plus and what doesn't. But that's a whole nother story.
Mm.
Not even gonna go there.
But yeah, in the first game, I wish we could have like gotten her because I felt like she was introduced into such an important way that I was like, would have been cool to like have displayed like afterwards as a story thing and not like later on in the new game plus, But at the same time, what I liked a lot is I like her interaction with Echoes, and also like I like Echoes a lot too.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's kind of like
Marcus.
HB Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really really love him, and
Really cool quotation marks.
But yeah, like Obrona is like almost like scary in love with Akos, and it's sort of like the like not necessarily romantic, but definitely obsessive.
yeah, but I think they're both really attached to each other. I think it's kind
Yeah.
of like going both ways,
Yeah.
Oh man, obsessive love. There's another blade with obsessive love that's
Oh, no.
on the list, and I
No.
cannot wait till we get to
I
it.
know.
Who isn't in love with Akos, the perfect human being? I mean,
Well, the perfect blade.
blade eater. Yeah, the perfect flesh eater.
But yeah, I thought I would put it on the list because I find that their interaction, whenever they're introduced, is really interesting, and how like Echoes is like pretty much like you said, like HB Junior, and like you have a Brona who's like, I'm gonna support you, and like pretty much does a bunch of shit that like really made me mad while I was fighting them. It was like blocking all of my combos. Like, stop it!
In
I
retrospect,
love you.
Huh?
in retrospect, I kind of wish Akos's blade was actually Dagus, just to see like that kind of dynamic of them trying to just one up each other.
That would be great. I would read that fanfiction.
That is quite a thing. Akos, you perfect son of a
Oh
bitch.
wow. But
Hey,
yeah,
it's his words, not mine.
sadly though, at some point, Bruna eventually pretty much dies, and well, Akos is pretty much in shock from it for a while because he was really close with her. But I find it still cool. Like I really love the depth they place in there, even though it was so short. But moving on.
I love how extra Akos is.
Moving on to the next one, unless anyone else has anything to add.
No, we're good.
No.
Okay, so this one is something special too, like Van Damme, Rex, and Rock, because I place them all together because technically, like, you have the whole relationship of Van Damme being the mentor of Rex going on, and him pretty much giving a little more confidence into Rex too, like, you know, he helps him, like, have a bit more faith in himself, and I thought it was really cool.
Oh, he gives the big speech.
Yeah, he gives a big
he
speech.
He
It looks like a
gives the big
JoJo character.
Yeah, he's definitely the oh god, I forgot his name. I'll use a different reference. He's definitely the Obi-Wan Kenobi in Rex's life.
Yeah, the Mad Max style Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But then, like, there's also, like, his blade that you get after
His wingman.
after he dies,
Oh.
which is
Oh, sorry, go on.
hello.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Okay, it just got silent after he said, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, is it?"
Oh no, I was just reacting to Nick's joke. Sorry, go on.
Okay. But yeah, after he died, like, you get his blade, and like you get pretty much told that he wants to leave the mercenaries with you, so you kind of become the chief of the mercenary over time, and it's just really cool that, like, he had this much, like, confidence into Rex and stuff. But sometimes Rex is such a pure soul that's not really tainted that I can feel like why you would give something so precious to Rex. And afterwards there's also, like, whenever you do the quest with Rock, like I did that quest a bit, and I really love how you pretty much tell Rock how his whole owner died protecting you, and he's pretty much like, well, then I'll protect you with my turn, or something like that. I was just like, oh, this is cute.
One of the cool things about Van Damme is just how much he believed in Rex, just from, like, very early on.
Yeah.
Like, one fight and just, okay, well, I'm gonna basically, and after his passing, just...
It's gonna be your sensei.
There was a lot of responsibility put on Rex in the end because he took over the group of mercenary do-gooders, basically.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, Van Damme, I think, was one of the first characters to really help Rex understand the reality of the situation and just bring him down to earth, really, because Van Damme is kind of, his death was something that was really eye-opening to Rex. And then when Rex takes over the mercenaries, and he finally has, like, all this responsibility of managing all these people, even going as far as interviewing other potential candidates, which was a really fun quest, by the way. That, like, I really like that. And then there's the other quests where you have the dialogue option of selecting what Van Damme meant to Rex. And I know, like, one of the dialogue choices was that Van Damme was like a father to him, which I thought was kind of weird because that kind of came a little bit too soon. But
it's just so short-lived.
Yeah. But I did like that they had it there because it shows that, like, Rex really thought very highly of Van Damme.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like it was, even though he was, like, acting more like his mentor, I feel like Rex really saw him for possibly as a, like, father, even though he didn't know him for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, the guy pretty much helped him through a lot of things, and like you said, he brought him back to Earth when in this like small delusion of like, oh, everything is pink and happy. It's like, no, it isn't, son. But,
He was definitely a good Vandom.
yeah.
Yeah, Vandom is basically the opposite of the King of Tantal.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
So,
I guess we
moving
could-
back again to some Torna people.
Mm-hmm.
Petroka and Mikhail.
Yeah, Mikhail.
Or I'm just gonna say Mick because it's easier. But yeah,
Don't think about the age.
don't think about the age. My brain tries to think about it every time. But yeah, these two has they have a very funny relationship going of like the two
Some daring
antagonists
flirt.
that flirts each other, that keeps like, well, Nick pretty much flirts her and she gets pissed, basically. they always kind of argue in the middle of a fight or something. And I find it funny.
It's interesting how Mick acts in Xenoblade 2, considering how he was in Torna.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
definitely. Like whenever I saw him in Torna, I was like, oh my god, he was so cute. But then you see him in like Xenoblade 2, and you're just like, whoa, calm down.
Yeah, Mick and Torna confused me so much. In a few ways. Because of, like, he was so shy, and he had a completely different accent, and I mean, I just came to terms with, okay, he got
in a
used to
way,
people speaking this
100
way, and he
years
changed
just-
accents, but
Really changed them.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, in a way, if you hang out with other people, you can, like, pretty much pick up other accents. But also,
I mainly just want to know more. Who did he hang out with? Who was he hanging out with to go from shy, reserved,
well,
scared little kid to...
I'll be honest, I
like-
was a shy kid when I was young, too, and I'm way more expressive right now, so I think it comes with experience, really. Like, I mean, whenever Torna happened, like, you just had gone through a few pretty traumatic experience for a kid, so it's a bit understandable why he was a bit more reserved and having more trouble opening up. But
Oh, I'm not saying that I don't understand how it could happen. I just want to know. I just want to know how it did.
yeah.
That's
But
all I
anyways,
mean.
you went from that to someone who flirts and is very like pretty much he's very much extroverted now. But yeah, I really enjoy his relationship with Petroka. Petroka is kind of funny too. Like she's another type of tsundere.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah, she's cold.
Petroka is almost exactly like my best friend from high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she had the very long hair and the very like dry attitude. So like seeing this character in the video game was
Her
very,
advice was typically, let's just punch him in the face.
yeah, pretty much, yes.
It's hilarious.
Petroka kind of reminds me of Irina from Xenoblade
yeah.
Cross.
Hmm.
I can totally see
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except maybe she's slightly more cold though, like in her interactions anyways. But yeah, I guess that moves us on to Petroka and Akos, which are pretty much brother and sister.
Yeah.
And they were found by Jin. God who knows where, somewhere in the ship. I don't know. I don't remember.
God.
Like that interaction
Yeah.
was so brief that
I-
it's just like, where were they?
Yeah, I kind of forgot they were siblings. So my bad.
Well, they're technically not blood siblings, but their drivers were siblings, so they adopted the
Oh,
sibling thing.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically,
because they're
yeah.
blades, flesh eaters, things.
But yeah, still they were picked up together by Jin, and they seem really really close and to understand each other really well.
Wait, can I ask something really
What?
quick? Aren't all blades brothers and sisters?
Mm,
As much as every human is brother and sister, metaphorically.
Point.
I guess in a sense that they come from the same place, maybe.
I don't know. That was a bad question. Let's go on.
So, I'm not exactly sure, like, how much to have on them, though, because, like, as much as we get quite a few scenes of, like, Torna people, we don't get often scenes of these two together, because
No.
Petroka is more often with Mick, and Eikos is more often with his blade, or mopping somewhere, or being fabulous somewhere else, or trying to get after the group. So...
Well, based on their personalities, I could totally see them being assholes to each other. So I could see, I could see why they might separate them a little bit.
Actually, I don't know. Like every time, the few times we do see them together, they actually. It actually feels like they have this kind of connection where they kind of understand what each other thinks or want to do or something, and they act pretty well together. Like they never seem to be harsh toward each other whenever they do interact. I think it's more a matter that Petroka was busy with Mick and like Akos was busy going after the group and like being mad at them for killing his blade. I think it's more something like that. But yeah, I don't know, I don't feel like they really argue or do stuff like that so much. Like, I haven't seen them being rough to each other so much.
I was just kind of thinking of Akos's, like, ego kind of thing.
Yeah, he has an ego,
Maybe.
but like, whenever he's with Petroka, they usually talk fairly normal, at least from what I remember. Like, I don't remember them arguing ever or having bad moments so much.
I just don't remember many scenes with them together. That's probably why I'm not,
I think they had that introductory scene, and that was it. And like maybe some stuff on the ship, like as
in
they
the
pull up to
ending
little tree.
too, like there's some stuff, but like that was more them being like shocked of everything that was happening and trying to work together,
Okay.
But yeah,
So we could probably.
they're really off.
Yeah. We could probably move on to the next pairing.
Yeah, although I'm wondering if I should leave that for a bit lower.
We might want to discuss that in Torna, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go on to...
That's complicated.
Let's go on
Okay,
to Jin.
should we leave everything that's regard to Jin a bit lower to get closer to Torna?
Well,
or
we
should
can
we
still
talk about it now and come back?
Well,
We can still talk about Jin and Akos.
Yeah, Jin and Akos and Petroka, I kind of already-ish covered that a bit, but yeah, he basically picks them up, and I think they both have like a really high respect of him and stuff. Like they kind of understand him too. Like I feel like I don't know, like Mick a lot. Like they understand him and they understand the cause and they want to follow him because they have like goals in their line and stuff.
Broken people are really good at finding other broken people.
Yeah.
Not to not to knock it down to that small of a thing because it isn't, but yeah.
No, this isn't even
hard to relate. Yeah, like it's hard to relate to non-broken people when you're broken. I say a broken person.
And actually, you know what? That kind of leads into something that we can talk about, which isn't on the list, and that is Jin and Rex.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I forgot to write that. But, yeah, they do have a special thing, I guess, where, well, at first, let's start from the start. Jin pretty much killed him.
But he killed him to protect him from whatever was going to happen next.
Yeah, basically, but that didn't work.
Nothing personal, kid.
That didn't work. He came back to life. Oh, poop. But then...
Jin is just sensei in a bad way.
But then, like, later on, especially in that moment where, like, for the longest time through the game, like, they pretty much have, like, many encounters and stuff, but later on, whenever they get stuck in that futuristic city underneath, like, that's where you kind of get to know Jin's reason a bit more and Jin's background, even though like the stuff he did was kind of like, I don't know, but at the same time, like you kind of can understand his character a bit more, and I feel like Rex, because of that, he really wanted to try and save him somehow. Like he understood him and he wanted to try and help him, but that did not really work out 100% at the end. But
that's also probably my favorite part of the game, simply because fast travel still works, so you can like take Jin to different parts of the game and take him to like Rex's hometown.
Oh my god, I did not think of that actually when I was in there.
Yeah, it's really funny. You're gonna have him we would joke that at that part of the game we would always joke that, oh yeah, we're just gonna take Jin on vacation. Just take him around the world.
Aww.
Here's my home, Jin.
Yeah.
This is really nice, but I'm still
They're gonna be on the beach with like some Hawaiian flowers and stuff like that, with sunglasses, drinking a smoothie. Oh my god, it's hilarious. But yeah, in a way I feel like they get to understand each other a lot more, like through that, and because of that, like I would say that he gets to understand a lot the Torna people in general because of that too, and how like their real enemy was not really them all along, in a way, even though they were kind of very aggressive. But yeah, I'm not sure what.
So are we going to go ahead and go into Jin completely now that we've kind of brought him up, or do you guys still want to kind of?
Honestly, I don't mind too much. It's just for example, Jin and Mitra, it's kind of hard to go into without talking about Torna, so.
I mean, we could probably talk about Jin and Malos.
Jin and Malos might be a little bit difficult.
Jin and Malos, yeah. But that also stars in Torna.
Well, I mean,
Well, we could talk Jin and Mikhail if you want.
How about we just save Jin for Torna?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Then we can come back to this Xenoblade 2 stuff.
Let's move on to Tora and Poppy.
Yeah.
So imagine if a teenager adopted another teenager that was slightly younger, and it was a little bit creepy.
You know, I suddenly thought of the plot of Weird Science for some reason.
Imagine if that teenager that they adopted was like a feral child, almost.
Oh my god. But yeah, Tora and Poppy, they have a very funny relationship, but at the same time, like, yeah, Tora is pretty much the one who made Poppy. I don't remember, like, I think he started from the plans of his grandfather or father.
Yeah, and they were unable to finish it, and then Tora was the one who ended up finishing her.
Yeah, basically, and
Poppy is so pure.
Poppy is pure.
Tora is so cute, but he's such a perv.
You know what? I know Tora and Poppy gets a lot of hate, especially because of that joke that they had about Poppy being the maid. But honestly, I actually kind of like them, because Tora really does care about Poppy and does want her to be more than just that. Yes, I know the game had that joke that everybody points out and likes to go on about how, oh, look at Xenoblade 2, it's just a freaking pervert's fantasy. It's like, yeah, but you know what? Sure, I get it, but there is more to it than that. And he did bother to give Poppy some sort of conscience and allow her to act on her own. And I think that's valid.
Yeah, people talk about that, but this is actually a very small part of the game, and Tora and Poppy actually are pretty valid.
Yeah. But to be honest, like, I don't mind so much, like, these kind of tropes either. Like, it just makes me laugh. So as long as it's not, like, overkillly done.
Right.
In their case, it was just very lightly done. Once in a while, like, Tora would do a comment or something, and it was just like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
aside from that,
super lighthearted.
If it was,
it's okay.
If Poppy's only purpose was to just be the robot maid, then yeah, I can get it. I understand it, but I feel like there's quite a bit more to Poppy than just that.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. Like
I definitely
she
think
helps.
so.
Like whenever Tura feels down, she helps him. Whenever someone else feels down, like she's often the first to try and comfort them or say like,
Yeah.
no, don't be sad. I'll be sad if you're
I think-
sad.
I think in that Poppy even like has that much of a personality is telling of what Tora's real intentions are actually more.
Yeah, that too.
You know, like because she is, I mean, she's pure of heart for a reason. You don't just make a robot and it's automatically that or anything like that. Anyway,
Yeah,
hey, we could go real deep into that,
Yeah.
but you know,
but
it's,
Tora is also super
Oh.
cute. The first time I saw him, I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and then there's also Poppy's upgrades as well.
Oh yeah, the third upgrade, I was like, this is so Cosmos.
Yeah.
oh my god, I love Poppy Cutie Pie's like her pop star
Yes.
dance.
Oh yeah.
Cutie Pie is one of my favorite characters in the game because she's just so
Yes.
she's so ridiculous and funny. Like she's got that, then she's got the dog mode, which is really hilarious.
Yep. Just her design overall, I really like her big
That
red
scarf
sash
or
thing.
scarf.
Yeah,
the
it's really
scarf
cool.
thing. That's just that color like works so well. We're not here to talk about design, but
The fashion of
Whatever.
Xeno, we need to make that a future episode.
But the character designs in that game are so good that I'm just like, I'm already like, I played this game only once and I only want to cosplay multiple characters. That says how much like this game triggers my cosplay senses because designs are so good.
it's across the
Yeah.
board. Oof, that's yeah, and I also love how well I don't think that I mean maybe I didn't see as much of QT just because she's the middle one. She's the middle evolution. Of course you only see that. I mean, it doesn't have as many story parts, I feel like, with the middle one.
Yeah,
but
outside of Rosa,
there's actually more of a stark difference in personality, I feel like, with QT Pie than from the other two. Because the other two are very much more, like, childlike in a lot of ways. And then QT Pie goes, like, full on, you know, like, a lot more serious, a lot more adult.
Yeah.
And it kind of changes from the child who wants to help like I guess kind of like a I don't know, would you say that she kind of sees Tora as in a fatherly way?
yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I feel like that, but I didn't want it to sound creepy. So I had to ask, but I feel like by contrast Cutie Pie is more like cold but motherly.
Well,
in a way,
I always saw it as
almost.
the upgrades is Tora's way of giving Poppy a real life and making her feel more human, because the whole idea of having the three Poppies is to have basically 3 stages of life. Like you have Alpha, which is a kid, Cutie, which is like, I don't know, like adolescence, teenager, yeah. And then you have Cutie Pie, which is either like late teen or young adult kind of thing.
Yeah, which
I
is
think,
pretty cool.
The Japanese name for Cutie Pie is something to do with college, and I think Poppy. I don't remember the first form, but the second form is high school abbreviation. Yeah.
I think I heard that somewhere. Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, it's like it shows that I think Tora wanted Poppy to have at least as close to a real life as she can get as a robot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And yeah, Poppy's she's just always there to, you know, make people smile. Like I actually really like the part where her and Mithra, they high five each other.
Yeah, that was really cute.
that
I
was
also
cute.
love the part where Rex was feeling really down because Spyro had been kidnapped and was kind of getting lost, and she pretty much like brought him back to his senses a bit
Yeah.
with just her feelings, you know? It was so cute.
It's a shame because, like, all those scenes, people will point out and go on about how cringy this game's writing is, and it's like, no, it was just a lighthearted moment. Like, I'm sorry this game isn't dark and depressing. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people also make fun of Blushy Crushy, that heart-to-heart.
Well, that's a subverted
but...
moe trope. Because, of course, they're not gonna, like, blindly translate moe. Because, like, how else are you gonna do that, like, convey that idea without, you know, being like Keikaku man's plan.
Right.
But
let jokes be jokes. I also, on your giving her the multiple stages of life, I almost forgot, like, the heart-to-heart was called Growing Up, so hey. And I was actually looking at Poppy Cutie Pie's page out of curiosity after you mentioned what her name kind of meant, and it says the Japanese name is Hana Judgmento de Modo, literally Hana Judgment Day mode.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, wow, we went full Terminator.
I mean, it makes sense. She's straight up one of the best blades in the game if you set her up properly.
Oh, yeah. If you want to play Tiger a lot...
I didn't have that patience, so I barely used her.
Yeah, me neither.
I did. I almost maxed her out. I came close. The only reason I didn't was because I think there was one where you have to do, like, the full-on driver combo, like, 250 times or something like that.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I'll give you a hint to help you with Tiger if you
easy mode.
Set it to easy mode, and you can clip through the walls.
Easy mode, and do level 1, honestly, because you get a lot of really good drops just from level 1, and it's easy to get everything and get a perfect score on it.
Yes, if you focus on collection and not getting hit, you're good.
I didn't even get Poppy's third form because I was just that bad at Tiger.
I got it, but I didn't quite max a lot of stuff or equip a lot of stuff because of the fact that I was not playing Tiger that much. I did not have the patience.
And I think
I just now remember that QT Pie was optional.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, and I think when I tried to get her at first, I didn't have something, and then when I tried to go back after New Game Plus, I think the quest was broken. So I'm not sure if I can get her.
Aw.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm not sure if I'm going to launch the game anytime soon, though. So.
Well, if we're talking about Tiger, I think we need to get back on track.
Yep. Torna and Grampy Pond.
Grampy Pond!
Yeah.
So yeah, they have a good close-up relationship. It's just that for a while you thought that his Grampy Pond was pretty much dead, but he was not. Or was it his dad that was not dead? I think I'm getting confused here. But I know this was one that wasn't there that we go rescue in that factory place.
Mm-hmm.
I think we knew that the father was alive, but not the grandfather.
Ah, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Because his grandfather Susu, or Sozo? Anyway, Susu, yes.
No fun names.
He was betrayed by Mui Mui. Mui Mui is always an ass.
I'm sorry, the no fun names, they cracked me up.
But that's why Torna and Tatsuzo went into hiding, and yes, I was reading the wiki. So sue me.
It's okay.
We all do this.
We always.
There's a lot. I'm just glad that the the Xenoblade wiki is maintained by reputable people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Torna had
I actually really like the Nopon and Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
I feel like they really made they made an effort to like develop them a lot more than they did in the first one.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think it was on the list, but no, it wasn't. There's one pair that I'm thinking about too, in the Nopons anyway, is the two villains, but I forget their names all the time.
Oh, you're talking about Banna?
Yeah, like
Bana?
especially
Yeah.
like that scene where they get in the robot. I was just like, oh my god. Like
So,
that killed me so
Bana-
bad.
Rosa.
Banner's probably one of my favorite characters in the game, simply because I love, like, the resolution with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, me too. He ends up on a hamster wheel in the train
Yeah.
field as punishment for everything.
And what's even better is when you I think my favorite side quest in the game is when you find out about his dad, and then you go track his dad down, and his dad's like a mobster.
Oh wow, I didn't do that one.
I don't think I-
It's amazing. And then you gotta go find his dad's hideout, and it's in Lefteria, and then you find like this hidden hideout that you go inside, and it's like there's like smoke everywhere, and you just see him sitting at a desk like Godfather style.
Awesome.
It's the funniest thing. And then
Most
right
appropriate
afterwards, you fight him, and he's got like this giant dragon robot, and like
Whoa.
Rosa's theme plays, and then when you beat him, you reunite him with Bana, and they both end up in the hamster wheel.
Aw.
It is like the funny, like that's probably my favorite quest of the game, because that's just so funny to me. Like I was dying.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, his dad's name is Don.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's great because his dad is so much shorter than Bana too.
I imagine that running on a hamster wheel has to be the top level of torture for a being with that short of legs. I don't even know how it works. It's like a potato waddle.
Oh, so should we move to the next one?
I actually forgot about.
I'm gonna leave that one to probably radio.
Well,
Tora and his grandpa are very
I was going to
alike.
mention, because you briefly mentioned Rosa, Justin, and I was also thinking about Poppy and Rosa,
Mhm.
like their
Oh, right.
relationship. Because
Oh yeah, true.
they kind of have, I mean, they're pretty much like sisters.
Oh, like Lila?
Oh wait, is it Lila?
Yeah, Rosa's the big one, and
Oh
Lila
my gosh.
is like
I'm sorry,
Tatazo's
Lila. My bad.
version. So they are very much like sisters. I would say Lila seems like an older sister to Poppy
Oh,
in
yeah.
a lot of ways.
And I think that's pretty much the only reason Poppy QT looks the way she does, because of that connection to
Mhm.
Rosa.
They're both doing the battle
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
for sure. Rosa and Lila and Poppy QT, yeah, are all three doing that kind of. They're a family
Yeah.
of robots.
Like, I almost wonder if they're gonna try to pull off like a Cosmos Telos thing, but it's not like that at all.
No, it's not.
So, Xenon, next one.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, yeah.
Gory and his love for baking sweet and desserts, but I'm gonna leave that one to Nick, as I think it's the one who actually mentioned it being cool to me, and I did not really do the quest of Gory, sadly, so...
Oh, it was such a good.
Oh, that was such a fun one,
That quest
actually.
is awesome.
I didn't
quite
Go on,
level
sorry.
him up because I felt like... I felt like he was a blade that was a bit too slow for me, so I barely used him, but I plan on, like, going on to him, like...
That great axe is great, and if you can use Zenobia, you can totally use Gorg, and Gorg is one of my favorite blades. That quest is awesome because basically it's just like he wants to open up his own bakery, but he wants to try all these other like desserts to see what he should make, and so you take him to this dessert place in Tantal. And he's just losing it over, oh my god, this person has this. And he's not like looking at what's behind the counter or anything. He's looking at different people's plates at the cafe. You're trying to have a conversation with him. And it's just like, he'll start talking to you and he's like, oh my god, is that a giant pumpkin log or something? That looks so incredible. And like, he is so passionate about it. I'm like, No, you can interrupt me. I respect your passion for this. But it's just like he's trying to talk to you about this thing seriously, and then he just keeps getting distracted, and it's like, and every time, I should also mention, every time he brings up one of these desserts that he sees at someone else's thing, he like stares at that person and their dessert, and probably makes them very uncomfortable, and he definitely does some really JoJo-esque poses. He puts an arm behind his head and points with the other hand.
Isn't it like Soraya Saga that did him?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
And
she designed him.
JoJo.
Yeah, I know, because like I follow her and I'm like, oh my god, all the JoJo stuff. It's so cool.
It's so good.
He has a very Jonathan-like demeanor. Like, whenever you're in battle with him, he's got this very booming, heroic voice and, attitude. Very uplifting, we can do it attitude, and then you help him open up his bakery, and you can basically go there anytime and buy some sweets, whether he's in your party or
And
not.
you're forgetting the biggest reward of that affinity quest, which is you get to see
Really good dessert.
Morag in the kitchen with her hat
Without
with
a
her
hat.
hat off.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yup. That's the biggest reward.
Otherwise,
Oh my
only
God.
available.
All I
by
remember of
costume.
Morang in the kitchen is whenever they had to cook, I think, fish or something.
Yeah, there was like a special fish.
Oh, yeah, she was
and that was
freaking-
gross.
And like both her and Brigitte were freaking out, and we were just like, "No, burn it!"
But yeah, it's actually I like that cutscene because it just shows like another side of Morag, because throughout the entire game you would never ever expect Morag to actually be trying to bake something or help bake something, and then here she is doing it, and she's not like mad about doing it, she's like enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's wasn't there another cutscene where she's cooking with her hat off though? Besides I was thinking.
Is there? I don't remember. That was the one that that like sticks out to me, but maybe there was another one.
Well, there's the one with the fish.
Was there
and
not the other one where her and Mithra had the cook-off?
Yeah.
Oh, she was a judge for
Mm.
that, I think. That's what it was. I think.
I don't remember,
Man, that's hard to remember.
but yeah.
But I could have sworn there was another one like that anyway. Either way.
Yeah, that was a really fun quest. Like Morag aside, that definitely well worth playing that, because Gorg, if you didn't like Gorg, you thought like his blade wasn't that great, he's worth playing just so you can get to that quest, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will. It's just like there's so many blades to level up that I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I still haven't done all the quests for all the blades.
I might not have even seriously put him on this list, but he definitely showed a huge passion for what he wanted to do, and he had a dream. So it was pretty nice. It was pretty good to see.
So the next one is Matthias and the world.
Oh, Amalthus in the world. There's no love there. There may have been love there at one point. He may have wanted to love the world, but the world...
I think it's more that he wants... now I feel like it's more that he wants to either completely destroy it or just like govern it and control it, but I'm...
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read what he wants, but
because it seems
he
seems like not really knowing what he wants to in the first place himself. So
yeah.
I don't.
And like the thing with Amalthus is the control, because he basically, since he controls the core crystals, he essentially controls the blades and therefore half the world anyway. So he's kind of won when we sort of roll up on this quest, and it's just sort of like, oh fuck, we accidentally messed up Amalthus and now he's gonna come kill us.
yeah,
It was like he was evil all along.
yeah, basically. But to be honest, like the moment I saw that he was some kind of pope, I was just like, oh, he's gonna be evil for sure.
Yeah, it was, game, he's gonna be evil. He looks too amicable in his profile picture.
Like all of the religious often all of the religious people that are like a pope or higher like thing in Xeno, they usually end up being evil.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So
But-
yeah,
But someone who does love the world is probably Klaus.
yep. At least the version of this.
Yeah, this
This
Klaus.
Xeno.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one
Yeah.
does.
He loves the world.
This is the half that took all the love.
Yeah.
He basically saw his mistakes
Away
and he tried to rebuild it with all his capabilities. But yeah,
Yeah.
Bad God
Yeah.
redemption.
And it's really cool
Mhm.
how they actually got to explore this, because like they're both Xenoblade titles and the two are connected at this certain point in this series and it's canon, and it was really exciting to see that as a longtime fan.
That was the coolest connection between those two. Like I don't know, I can't think of one thing that they could have done to flesh that out better and make up for, well, kind of what Klaus was in the first game. To be fair, I'm sorry to anyone that I anger by saying that, but you know, he was very villain. He was very curly mustache villain in the first one.
Yeah, it was a really cool way to kind of retroactively give a surprising amount of depth to what I'm sure many just saw as like a throwaway cutscene in the first one.
Show him that show some humanity in him at all, like, and wow, did it make up for it?
yeah, it was a pretty hype cutscene, to be honest. It was just like,
yeah.
oh my god, this is a connection. Ah. And of course there was like the gate or Zohar right behind him. It's just like,
Right.
I'm staring at you. But
It's all coming back together.
What if your god is just a broken man who's just been trying his hardest for like thousands of or for millennia of millennia?
yeah.
You know,
It's also
It's a
kind of
stranger on the bus trying to make his way home.
yeah. It's also kind of neat that that like once we learn about this kind of these parallel worlds and this duality of this guy, it's kind of neat because it kind of explains why Blade 2 and Blade 1 are so different in terms of their tone. Like Blade 1 was a very bleak, very dark, or darker rather, game. It was a much darker world. Characters, they weren't as optimistic as the one in Blade 2, whereas Blade 2 is a much happier game, a lot more optimistic, and
Less people die.
less people dying. And I think like that scene really kind of drives that home. It kind of explains like this is why Blade 2 is quote unquote a happier, generic shonen happy-go-lucky tale.
Bleh.
Yeah, I know. I hate when people
This is
say
why
that,
I
but
don't try to hang out with more Xenoblade fans. Because
shh, they might listen.
yeah,
fight
they're-
me.
All
I'm just
Xeno
kidding.
is good Xeno.
Yes, all Xenoblade.
exactly. They're all good. I like all the
it's
games.
Like, why would you argue over which is better when you can make fan content of what you like?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that said, should we move to the next one? Which I can't see because dragons in the way they go.
Oh.
And although this one, yeah, I guess we can cover it here because as I did not have so much of a connection in Torna with this guy as much.
Yeah, and like basically, Amothus and Hayes, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, but it's the fact that also
Yeah,
like
it's
Aze, like
straight
like,
up.
I don't know if I should say Aze or Aze, but because it's Japanese, I'm kind of like saying
Yeah,
Aze.
yeah.
Well,
think,
I mean, at this
I think
point,
her
Oh, yeah.
Japanese name is like Fog or something like that.
Yeah.
well, at this,
So I just say the English word Haze.
but at this point, we're talking about her current form, which is Fan Lenorn or Fan Lenorn.
Yeah, Fan Lenorn, yeah.
Fanlanor, yeah. It's
Fan
just I
Lenorn,
said Aze
yeah.
because it was like easier to remember.
Yeah,
But,
I had to Google that real quick. Just like, what was her name before?
Yeah, actually, I just had to check it. Kasumi is the Japanese
Okay.
name of Haze. So.
But yeah,
But it is still Fan Lenorn in
basically,
Japanese.
like you get to meet Ace as basically, she's basically like the blade of Amatus, and she helps like bringing the group up to him or something like that. Like she's like a guide or a messenger most of the time, or helping out and stuff. But she does not remember her past life at all, since like she kind of rebooted, and like it's kind of a shame, because at the same time, like if she did remember, she would remember how Almatus was like evil and shit, and she would not stay there.
Yeah.
But
she's kind of brainwashed, and I would call this relationship
yes, abusive, but also he also had taken part of her coral crystal as well to get some of her powers. So it's extremely abusive and toxic, and yeah, not so good. But I could cover the tiny part of like Jin and Ace in this game without going too much depth. But we know that Jin knew the old Ace and remembers, so I think that's why he did what he did, which was pretty much freeing her the most coldish way ever.
Yeah.
Wow, Jin seems to be doing a lot of murder killing.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I was actually sad when that happened though, because I was like, but I loved her. She was so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that covers most of it. Like it was mostly an abusive relationship. It wasn't so much about love, but at the same time I found that it was something that had like enough going on that, you know, like for a while, because Ace was so brainwashed and stuff, like she had high respect for Amaitis, but like at the same time it was just like you poor thing.
It sort of like represents how tight a grip Amalthus has on this world when we as we're playing through it, and going back through Torna, and like just really gives you a better feel of how a more free world is.
Yeah. So the next one is a zombie undying love for a driver.
Oh boy, this one.
Yandere danger.
Gothic Yandere.
Yeah, Yandere, and you know, getting the FBI involved if Rex is her driver.
Appropriately.
Although I did not see her entire quest. I think I was missing still like one sequence of that. I don't remember. But yeah, she's kind of creepy.
Yeah, she is obsessed with whichever driver you have on her, especially when you do. And when you finish her quest, she actually gets another cutscene depending on your driver too. And it is a little bit different based on who it is.
Oh. I did not realize it was driver. Oh, actually, I think I might. I didn't know if they did that or if they just made her like suggest it was Rex all the time, because I had unlocked her on Rex, so I just kind of. It seemed very towards the group in general to me, so I wasn't sure.
I think I got her on
cool
Morag.
Did not know that.
When
I had her on Rex.
But yeah, her on Rex is it's definitely very, very concerning.
I don't think I got very far in her quest line, but I do remember her being extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's kind of her character. She's very much that person. Do not cheat on her. Do not replace her. Otherwise, she will come find you and she'll probably kill you.
Yep.
Be careful of how much you send her off on Merc missions.
Huh. That didn't stop me. I did it all the time.
I just sent her off on Merc
Oh, me too. Me too. She was actually my first blade in that game.
Oh, wow.
So that was, first one I unlocked.
Your first blade is some kind of like yandere
first
freak.
rare.
Oh my god.
Adenine was like after that, right after that. But
Adenine was actually my first blade. But do we want to add more to Azami, or we just leave it at like creepy yandere danger? Please flee.
Pretty much.
I mean, kind of everything she does screams that. But
okay.
Yeah, there's not much else to say. I like her design.
Yes.
Yeah, her design is cool.
Oh yeah.
Her combat style is kind of interesting because it you know, it's kind of weird how she's like so obsessive about you and doesn't want you to die, yet she's at her best when her driver is about to die. So all of her playstyle relies on you being low on health, and then that buffs her attack significantly.
Yeah, because she doesn't want you to die. She's like, oh my god, he's gonna die, I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you.
She has an undying love.
But yeah, so the next one is Adenine and their love for books. Because, I mean, she has a whole quest where she looks for those super rare history books, because she's driven by history of things and books in general, so she tries to collect them and like get to know more things because she loves knowledge.
I feel like her goal in life is to become a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah, I feel so.
Cool.
She's that.
I do love her, yeah.
Adenine's.
Have
Sorry,
any
go
of
on.
you guys finished her quest line?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I think I did because I had her pretty early and I really enjoyed her quest. Or if I didn't, maybe I was missing only one thing from like missing one.
It is a pretty
book,
long
but
one.
I think I did finish it, but I can't quite recall.
But for people listening who haven't, it's just you get to go all the way up to the World Tree, and there's like this special room that you get to unlock if you get all the books to it, and it's like I forget exactly what it is, but I remember it being really cool.
Nice.
It was like a database, and she basically
Yeah.
just wanted to like, oh, I'm gonna stay here and get all this information. And they asked like, how long is that gonna take? And it's like, oh, it could take, not very long or hundreds of years. I don't know.
Oh.
So basically, when she's not in your party, she's just there going through that database.
I feel like Adenine would be that friend you have that just knows random stuff and is just constantly talking about facts that make no sense and have no relevance whatsoever, but they just know it and have no problem sharing it.
That's hilarious.
She has a great side. They added that side quest with her and Cosmos, and they had kind of like interesting chemistry.
This is a bit unrelated to the love part, but I like to think that I can't remember which artist drew Adenine, but I like to think that he was just drawing her like, hehehe, checkmate, Cosmo.
Yeah, I saw that design. It was just like, just so cool, but her design makes no sense.
That's part of why she's great, though.
Yeah, I know.
I love her. She was one of my favorite blades.
I could
for
see
sure.
like some cosplayers going like, challenge accepted.
Cosplayers, do not try to remove part of your torso. Please do not.
Please do, because I want to see how that ends. No, don't do that. XenoChat does not condone you actually, ripping yourself apart.
Please don't walk in front of any pursuit of
goodness.
Oh my god. Well, this is getting dark. So,
Moving on.
So, moving on to
Real otaku hours.
Zenobia and challenges, aka she wants to fight everything that looks badass. But basically you have a lot of challenges against mini bosses and stuff like that you have to fight in order to complete our chart, which I have clearly not completed because there's too many shit to fight. But yeah.
Up to the point of fighting the ultimate monster that is basically Xenoblade's own. Well, I was going to relate it to I think it's a D&D thing, Tarask. You just can't kill it.
I would probably go at the super easy mode to win it. Because I'd be like, eh.
Well, it revives once, is basically what it does in the actual battle. But it was fun. Except for the poison water around it.
Oh, yeah. That place with...
She has a love for danger.
That place in the poison waters. But yeah, like, honestly, she's just mostly a character that loves fighting stuff, and she loves. I feel like she loves growing as a fighter and fighting stuff that's exciting because she's so strong that like anything that's not challenging is kind of boring because it dies in 2 seconds. But yeah, I find her character interesting. So
She's very fun when paired with certain people, with certain
Yeah.
drivers, especially. I had her on Zeke, and I just loved that. I mean, it was corny as it could be, but I still love the specials where Zeke says, "Welcome to Axetown! Population, your faces!"
that's hilarious.
It was just it was such a very Zeke thing to do, so I loved it for that reason.
Indeed. But yeah. I guess next one. Wolfric just wants to be loved.
Oh, poor Wolfric.
He just wants a hug.
Wolfric
But he looks so scary.
is-
But he wants a hug.
Wolfric is a big puppy.
Yeah.
That side quest with him and that old lady that couldn't see very well was precious.
Oh my god. That was one of the best side quests. You gotta help the kid, and you gotta help the old lady, and you have this giant hulking demon spawn looking thing doing it, like, not super gracefully, but well enough that, you know.
But
Yeah, that one was really, really wholesome.
yeah, it's just I love the whole thing where like you expect that blade to be like kind of ruthless and stuff and really scary, and then like he starts talking and he feels like the most insecure little bear ever that you just want to take and give a hug to. You're just like, oh, don't worry, everything's gonna
Yeah.
be fine.
I like Wolfric a lot, actually. I remember in my game, I actually did use him quite a bit for a while. He was probably my main, I think the ground-based element.
Yeah, me too. I used him a
Same.
lot because he was really strong, and he was also kind of giving. I think he was giving some bonuses in defense too. I feel like because I feel whenever I had him equipped, my character was dying a bit less. But that may be me.
Oh, he was one of the first ones I maxed. Yeah, his super strength is not to be.
Oh yeah,
with.
he's super strong. But yeah, like I don't have too much to say other than the fact that I wanted to mention him because it was like, but he's so cute and he wants some love, so let's give him some love.
Wolfric deserves all the love.
Oh yeah,
Wolfric is a good boy.
yeah, he's a good boy indeed. So, moving on to the next, Praxis and Theory. Although I did not quite do their full quest, like I'm actually
didn't
still
either.
missing the second one.
I did.
So
Yeah, same.
I'll leave that to whoever did it.
Well, Praxis and Theory, actually, you have to unlock Theory via use of Praxis, and so I feel like it was probably late enough that there was quite a few people that missed it, but it's kind of sad in a way because they are kind of treated as Blade sisters, but like Theory doesn't, like Praxis and Theory have been taken over by like these bad mercenary
Yep.
people, and so they're bad until you retrieve Praxis with like Rex, and Praxis realizes how things are eventually, and realizes that Theory is kind of like her sister Blade, and Theory doesn't remember, so it's kind of a quest to like retrieve her and get her to remember that, hey, we don't have to be bad people, we're like sisters, and there's a lot of it to that. I'm not sure exactly how the sister thing works, but they definitely treat them as such, and whenever you get them back to like, well, I'd say it like their normal selves, but whenever you get them out of the hands of their bad drivers, their evil drivers, really, like Praxis just ends up being really happy-go-lucky and just really in a way, and like she has a strong sense of justice in the end and wants to do the right thing and turn her sister back to the right way. And Theory is still, even when you get her back, she's still more cold, but she is very kind whenever you get her to realize. And it's kind of a sad story just that plays on the whole thing of blades can't remember their past selves. But in some way, Praxis is able to realize this partially through Rex and their friends, that Theory is just, they just need to find a good driver for Theory, and so they go and rescue her. And I thought that was a pretty nice story, and I don't have a whole lot else to say about it other than that, because I mean, there is a little more to it, but my memory is honestly a bit fuzzy on the actual.
At least we did mention them, because I feel like there are a couple of blades that are kind of important, but they're so easy to miss on their quest. Like, for example, I have one of them, but I've not quite encountered the other one yet, and I didn't quite look into it online either. But I know the other one appears only under certain conditions, so just
I
think you have to grind Praxis to at least rank
you
3
do.
To
and then you unlock Theory's quest.
So if you don't like using Praxis,
I think it's more a matter that I use some specific blades more, and I have too many, and she kind of fell a bit in the background. But moving on though to the next one.
Before we do that, I'll just add one more thing to Praxis and Theory.
Go ahead.
That particular quest line, I think, is also one of the darker quest lines in the game, mainly because you see Praxis and Theory become core crystals, and they're not always with their driver. And if I remember correctly, I think Theory's driver dies off screen, and you only know that because Theory straight up just turns into a core crystal out of nowhere.
Oh.
Because I think...
I believe
because I think there was a part where their drivers, they were evil, and so there was a manhunt that was launched for them, and then they eventually do find them. And because Praxis and Theory, they kind of are allowed to wander on their own, you just suddenly see them just turn into crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was. Yeah. I think it might have been Theory that turned into a crystal.
I think it was Theory, because I think you actually go and take out Praxis's drivers mostly, but I think you're thinking about Theory. I know there's a showdown with Theory where you're trying to get her to realize, but I think in the end that's basically what does happen. I think Theory was kind of... I want to say that she might have been shared by the mercenary group a little bit, as far as being used as a tool by them. So I think that was how that happened. I don't want to say for sure because I don't remember as clearly on that part.
And I also remember that Theory's quest, it's a long quest, and for the majority of it, Theory is very much just this indifferent, cold person. And it's not like an immediate shift. It's, you really have to be there with her. And it's honestly kind of heartbreaking when you're seeing Praxis trying her best to keep it together and try to make Theory remember what's going on and understand that she shouldn't be the way she is. And Theory's just kind of sitting there I don't care.
I kind of love how they work on a aesthetic level too, because maybe it's dopey, but Praxis being bubbly and also being bubble in design, and then Theory being cold and being icy in design. I also love that Theory is a tank. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That she's so tiny, but she's a tank. It's fitting. It's really fitting.
Yep.
But yeah.
So, the next one is pretty much a pair that made rage. That pretty much caused a lot of rage among a lot of Xeno players. Ursula and Barry, aka the worst blade to level up ever.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking with this, but still, though, in terms of character, I still think she's kind of interesting. It's just that the leveling up of that blade is so jarring that it's
it's insane.
I hear people...
Her voice was grating enough to me to start with.
I
don't
hear
know,
people
I found her cute.
complain about this, but I actually didn't even try to pursue this. What do you have to do exactly?
Here's my advice for completing her quest. Is there like a new show that you guys want to watch, or a show that you want to binge, or is there like a new anime, like a 50 episode anime? Put that on, have your Switch in portable mode, and just do the Merc missions while you're watching that show, because my goodness, it is such a grind. It takes so long to do her quest.
Even after you get all the tickets, like, there's so much more just raising your renown, and if you don't have, like, me, it was even a little bit worse because there was one of those last, I think it was one of the, like, Soul Lesson 4 or something, but I did not have, I was having trouble getting enough of the right combos of just extra blades to make for that one, so I just kept on doing 3 because I was, like, tired of kind of messing with that. But, yeah, I guess since this is the love episode, kind of, what we really want to know is, does anyone love this quest? Because I find it a little hard.
Nope. And, okay. The reward for it is that, obviously, you max out her affinity chart. And Ursula does have some decent abilities. Like, one of her more useful skills is that if you switch to her, it's a full party heal. I think, like, 40% or something like that.
She is one of the best.
So that's just switching to her. So if you have like a fast blade switch core, you can basically just swap to her very quickly. If you need a quick party heal. But other than that, the quest is really tedious and long. It's not a bad story though, because there is a good ending. Because it's her trying to find confidence to perform in front of other people, because throughout most of her quests, she's very anxious. She's scared of being in front of others, and she doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in herself. She doesn't know if people are going to like her. She's very hesitant to start her singing career. And so it is kind of cute to see her gradually gain more fans. People gradually start saying things about her and start liking her more, because towards the end, she learns to believe in herself. And I think that's a good story.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that it's behind such a tedious process.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. That's why I kind of put her on the list, because I was like, it's still an interesting character with an interesting story and life lesson in a way. So I was like, well, I kind of find it interesting that she goes over stuff like that, but sometimes it's just like, it sucks because I do want to see the ending of that quest, but it's just like, no.
I will say something halfway good about that quest. I think that is some pretty decent meta commentary in a way, because it is definitely a show for, hey, practice can definitely be boring, but yeah, it's just like, it really replicates the tedium of practicing something to get better in a way.
Yeah.
That's all I'll give it.
Alright.
So yeah, moving on. Next one. Boreas and his food.
I hate Boreas. And the reason I hate him is because, you know how like when you awaken a blade, you can see the silhouettes?
Yeah.
Boreas' silhouette keeps coming up, and I never get him, and I still haven't gotten him yet.
Oh no, that sucks. But
until I got him, that was like every time I noticed his silhouette was like almost every time.
I admit though,
just, like, never.
I did get him pretty late myself. I think his drop rate is kind of low, but yeah, I did start. I did start his quest though, but I don't think I finished it. But I did start it, and it's kind of hilarious.
It's funny. It ends in an eating contest. And while Boreas is funny, he's also kind of a jerk just by way of him being so impatient with everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And, like, because he is super fast, and he is also super hungry. And so his quest is basically going from place to place to try the best food here to the best food there, and he's, like, really impatient about it, so... And to build up, like, his affinity levels, you've got to load his locker with food.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, he just loves food and doesn't care about anything else. Just like, pretty much like... Although, cats do like cuddles, but like, they often are more after the food. I find. But yeah, He's a bit like a big independent cat that just wants its food.
Yep. There's Boreas and Food Quest is like me whenever I go to Montreal. there's a lot of
like the
just like
the
where we're
trip
gonna
you
eat
just
next.
did just now when we went around tons of restaurant eating.
Basically, yes, it's a tour.
It's like
a tour of
before the
restaurants.
con and during the con, we barely eat and we're just like running all over the places. And then after the con, we just go all out and eat in all of the best restaurant in Montreal. It's hilarious. But yeah. Next one. Dagus and himself. Although I just now got this one not long ago, so I didn't get to do much with him. But still.
Oh, he is a king.
Dagus is fun.
Dagus.
Yeah, for the longest
Dagus?
time I really wanted him. It's the one on the throne.
Yeah.
If you let him just sit there for a while, his idle animation goes to he sits down
Oh,
on
okay,
the
yeah, I
throne,
recently
then he
just got him
spawns.
too.
The one that looks super fabulous.
know, I don't- I got him very
He's-
late myself. He was actually one of the
he was
last
also-
blades that I got.
He was also designed by the same person who designed Azami.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got him fairly early on, and Dagus is a lot of fun. Isn't it one of his quotes when you equip him? He just goes, "Shut your mouth."
I think so.
I think
So,
so. Yes.
I always thought that was really funny, and I also like setting him on Merc missions just to annoy him. And Dagus is he's just a really fun character. His quest is actually kind of interesting because you're trying to find out the land that he once ruled. Because he insists that he had this giant kingdom, and you're trying to find any kind of remnants of it. And this is why I really wish they had actually mentioned this in Torna, but unfortunately they never really went there. Cause, he always talks about how, his kingdom was so great. And then you take him to all these different sites around the world to show him all these amazing views, and he's a really, really fun character. Also, he can be stupidly overpowered under the right conditions, because if you max out his affinity chart, something happens where he becomes awakened. And when he's awakened, you have to do the entire chart all over again.
Oh, what?
Oh,
And
wow.
but here's where it gets crazy though.
It stacks up the boost.
So the crazy part about him is he has this one skill called Kaiser Zone. And what that does is it increases damage dealt for, I believe, the whole party by 120%.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
So wait, if you do the affinity chart twice, does that mean that it boosts that 2 times?
Well, no, that skill only happens in the second chart.
Oh, okay. But still, whoa.
Oh wow.
Wow. You're trying to tell me that Dagus is demanding?
Basically.
How very
Yeah,
like
you
his
really have to-
design too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, his design's great.
I kind of feel
He's one that I wish
I
I'd
kind of
raised
feel
more.
like him being the only one to have that sort of gyps progression out of the rest of the lot, but that's fascinating actually.
Okay, I need
Yeah,
to do his quest now.
Me too.
Yeah, he's a really, really interesting one. I mean, unfortunately, he is a great axe, so his attack is a little bit slow, but still, like, that buff is pretty crazy when you can get it going.
Man, the power output of great axes, though, in that game kind of make up for themselves especially if you get a launch and stuff like that. Those are nice.
Yeah, I guess, like, the biggest problem with him is that he's a Fireblade, and unfortunately, Fireblades aren't insanely useful in this game because of Pyra.
Yeah.
Well, you have
Yeah,
Pyra
it's
and
kinda-
you
it
have
kinda
Big
hurts you when you're
Bridget,
going
so
up
it's just
against her.
like...
Yeah, they outclass almost every Fireblade in the whole game, unfortunately. But Dagus has that weird gimmick where if you stick with him long enough, you can do some ridiculous damage.
Yeah. But yeah. Cool.
I definitely
So
need to
the
level him
next
up more.
one is Best Center Driver.
Well, this one was really sweet. It was really
Very
sweet
good quest.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because basically...
I never finished her quest, actually.
Oh. It was kind of
Oh.
heavy a bit. Sad.
Well,
Sad.
I mean, the one where like you have to keep making the rice
Yeah,
balls.
the rice
yeah.
balls. It's you know what happens to her. Well, like what they. Well, I mean, it goes into stuff with her old driver. So
You
I
can
mean,
probably guess what happens to him if he. Yeah.
yeah. He retires.
Just say, just see
Oh.
that
Living.
is. But they had a good a good relationship going where she basically was taking care of him and stuff while he was kind of weaker and sick a bit. Like, well, sick I don't know if to what, because he was still the kind of old man that was like kind of acting strong and stuff, even though like he did not have the shape he had like years ago. But yeah, I think their relationship was really interesting, and I placed it on the list there because it was also very sweet. And that scene where he retires did make me go a bit emotional, because I was not expecting it to go in that direction this way. It's just like, oh,
And his favorite meal was the rice
yeah.
balls. I mean, who
But
wouldn't
yeah,
like those?
it's a
though?
cute one. So, but I don't have much more to add other than say it was a sweet relationship.
Yeah.
Mhm. It went from her being kind of like feeling like, I know blades don't really age in a way, but it was like the sense of being a younger Blade going with a dashing adventurer to just taking care of this old man in his in his late days, and
Yeah.
it was very
Yeah,
wholesome.
but at least what I find cool though is at least he retired in peace and not really in the sort of violent thing. So I feel like it was
Oh,
still a pretty cool thing to see that kind of scene happen, even though it was kind of really sad. But yeah, next one is something quite interesting to us Xenosaga fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cosmos and
Cosmos
Estelle.
and Astel, aka Shion.
Well, yeah, because I remember, I think Aaron mentioned one time that I first realized that Estelle is actually the word aster, which is the same flower that is named Shion in Japanese. So it's like, they did this on purpose.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like she even had the same hair color, the glasses, the same
Yeah.
eyes color, and the same attitude. So like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that small quest. It was giving me like a big smile on my face. But yeah, yeah, they have pretty much the same kind of relationship going on as a lot of, let's say, I'd say it was closer to like the kind of relationship we would see a bit in Xenosaga 1, maybe, except that maybe like, yeah, since she was a kid this time, like was more Cosmos kind of trying to protect her and like take care of her, even though Cosmos in the Blade 2 acts a lot like the Cosmos of Xenosaga 1. So
Well, and then, like, it was kind of cute because at the beginning, Estelle was like, will you be my friend and stuff like that? And Cosmos was like, no, I'm not going to be your friend. And by the
yeah,
end,
it was
by the
really
end of
cute.
it, Cosmos said that she was her friend. It's like, oh, that's so wholesome.
No.
So I'm a little fuzzy on this, but does she ever say, "I'm worried about Cosmos"? In that, because now that I've played Saga 1, just like, you could practically make a drinking game out of how many times she says, "I'm worried
No,
about
but
Cosmos."
Cosmos does go a bit like, I sense danger and she pretty much protect him. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Cosmos is definitely Cosmos in that game.
But yeah, she protects her a lot in the sense of how she would protect Shion back in the day in Saga. So they did a big peekaboo there, and I really enjoy it. Except I did not quite put the Telos on there because I did not do requests yet.
Yeah, they have like if you do Telos's quest and you have Cosmos, they have this like one short scene together where it's like I don't know, it's just they kind of antagonize each other a little bit.
Okay.
But by the end of it, they kind of like come to an agreement. So they're like, the party members are like, are they friends or not? I don't know. But it was nice.
Yep.
It was a
It's
nice
hilarious.
little scene. It sadly wasn't voiced, but it was nice.
Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, that was something the next one is something we mentioned at some point, and I made place it on the list because of that. But it's basically of how like it's kind of linked to Torna a bit, but it's basically the soldiers saying, "Don't forget me."
Don't forget me!
Which is our big meme. Like, we're thinking that it's kind of linked to, like, Hugo's, because Hugo was also saying that. So, our thinking on this was maybe they're saying this, they were saying this because it was a memory to their old leader.
Like respect for their old leader.
Don't
They share
forget
that love
Hugo.
for the Empire. Yeah. Don't forget Hugo.
Don't forget me!
Something.
Was that a spoiler?
He did so much for this Empire.
I added one. I have to bounce in a little bit, but I wanted to get a piece in about Malos and Jin before I go.
Oh yeah.
But we were keeping them for the end to be
Well,
closer
I mean,
to Torna. But at this point,
well,
I'm wondering if we
well-
should just leave Torna as an old episode because holy crap.
Hold on, because I mean, I agree with Kat because Malos and Jin kind of have a different relationship in Xenoblade 2 than they do in Torna. So I would kind of say it'd be okay to talk about them.
And I have to pack up in 7 minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so yeah, go for it.
Okay. But yeah, Malos and Jin, hella, and it's like, even if you're not reading it as gay, it's just like, it's really interesting to just watch them in this, because, like, on the one hand, Jin comes from a place where he used to be the good guy, and that's not a spoiler. And just sort of like, because of the stuff that Amalthus does, he ends up being on Malos' side. And they don't really explain it, like, word for word like I thought they would. And in the end, it's just like, I think Jin and Torna just want to destroy the world that Amalthus made to trap everybody. But it's more about, like, in general, freeing the world.
And after Laura, Malos is the one person giving Jin something to work towards at all.
Yeah, and it's, like, whether you read that as romantic or aromantic, it's like you can read it either way. Like me, I'm a queer person. Things that I can read as queer, interest me, and it's very interesting to me. But like all of the Torna characters designed by Nomura, just look so good.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
I love watching them, and I like watching them do things, and just like it's so good.
Nomura is a good designer.
He is.
He's good at drawing them characters.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say there. So I guess talk amongst yourselves.
Well, thanks for coming on, Kat. Yeah, I think I agree that we'll probably make another episode just for Torna at this point.
Oh no.
Part 4.
Well, we can do part 4, and then maybe there'll be some news, and maybe we'll do a whole series wrap up.
Yeah.
And have it not be rushed.
Oh, we can talk about our favorite pairings in the next episode.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're only at 2.5 hours,
Oh,
guys.
God.
Come on.
Well, that's pretty much
it's
where
8.
we cut usually. So
Yeah.
It's 8 and
I
a lot
know.
of us haven't eaten, so...
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm signing off. I will see you guys next time.
All right.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.
Have a great evening. Take care.
Okay.
I suppose we should at least finish Xenoblade.
Yeah.
2.
Should we?
I think that was the last one.
Well, I think.
well, we actually jumped...
Oh, well, we kind of skipped
I think
over
we should
Azurda.
just go into.
Oh, okay. We can talk about Azurda.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Let's go over Azurda at least.
Yes.
So yeah,
I mean-
Azurda, Gramps, and Rex, because I mean, you start with these two. Like Azurda pretty much takes care of Rex and kind of looks after him, and eventually you think that something horrible happened, but he becomes this tiny little baby dragon. But
Man,
yeah.
I was just gonna say, for Rex being out on his own, other than Gramps does a pretty good job of sheltering him.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot that he keeps from him, but you can tell it's definitely out of care for Rex, rather than, just out of being like,
I know, but that's the
doesn't
thing,
need to
he
know
cares
this.
for Rex, so he waits for... Like, he knows a lot, but he waits for good moments to actually say some things, and he really just want to take good care of Rex in general. But concerning the fact that he knows a lot too, goes also to the fact that he knew Jin as well, and like I remember where they have this small interaction, although I don't remember all the details of it, but like at some point, I can't remember if it was in Torna or in Xenoblade 2, like it's kind of hazy, but I remember him and Jin talking at some point, or I think it was the end of Xenoblade 2, could it be? Like whenever you were alone with him, like he talks a bit with him, and you get a little talk too in Torna that kind of show a bit more of their connection, but yeah.
I think it was more prominent in Torna, as far as I remember.
But I remember there was a little something in Blade 2 where I think Azurda was trying to, I don't know, maybe give advice or something to Jin. I'm not quite sure. Or showing compassion with how you understood him, but like you felt sorry for him. I can't fully remember, because Azurda does know what happened back then, so...
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like Azurda is fairly admirable in a parental way, because of he does kind of shelter Rex a bit, but when Rex wants to go for like his dreams and wants to just go off on this crazy quest, he doesn't like try to stop him.
Yeah, he does get super worried though. He's like,
even to the point of even as worried as he gets, he helps him and supports him to the point of like getting close to sacrificing himself almost, whenever he uses up so much power and becomes small Azurda.
Yeah, but
so yeah.
But yeah,
I do like that about him.
Yeah. There was another thing though that was mentioned by some of you guys. Azurda having possibly a girlfriend in the past that screwed him over, and like a lot of apparently there was a sort of thing going on, sort of theory that it could have been Shiba because of the 1 million that was given in the past, and I think she ran away with it, with the money or something. I think that was what happened to him, but still it's just like, what?
Wow, Azurda got catfished?
Yeah. That'd be really interesting. Considering that Shiba would have zero interest in Azurda.
Right.
Yeah, but it's you guys that spoke about it before, but I'm not quite sure where this theory or rumor comes from. But he did mention getting kind of like dumped in the past at some point.
Yeah.
Doesn't he mention a girlfriend in Torna as well?
I don't think it was mentioned in Torna. It was just
2.
a side quest in Xenoblade 2 where you had to pay off this debt that Azurda racked up.
Oh, yeah, that I do remember that. Wow, yeah.
But yeah, we never find out who that girlfriend actually is.
Oh, that's one thing he's shy about, for sure.
Yeah, the others we didn't cover, though, I think we're gonna keep them for whenever we do Torna, because they're kind of heavily linked to Torna, too.
There's one that is not linked to Torna that I would like to mention.
Which one?
And everyone and Turters! You all forgot about, how could you forget about the beloved mascot Turters?
Turters.
So, is there anything more we can say about Turters other than that Turters, it has a special place in everyone's heart? I mean, maybe we leave him on the ground by accident sometimes and forget, but you're not going to move anywhere without, taking Turters along. He's just... I mean, what would the story even be without Turters? He's such a central character.
Yeah, I wouldn't play this game if Turters wasn't in it.
Yeah. I mean, everything is better with Turters.
Turters is everything.
So yeah, I guess we should probably wrap here and do Torna and do a 4th episode.
Yeah, I had a sneaking feeling this might happen, but it's totally fine.
Me too.
But yeah, so yeah, next time we'll...
There is yet more that can be discussed.
Yeah, we'll cut it.
Because I think Torna will also take quite a bit of time, because it's a lot of very heavy relationship things that I think might take a bit more time than just a few minutes each.
Yeah, and if there's anything
and even if we went fast through them, we could have a little bonus at the end or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's...
Man, Xenoblade 2 so lovely.
It's so...
Too blushy.
Oh, God.
It's too cutie pie.
Alright.
But, yeah. So,
okay.
I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So yeah, we'll just wrap things up here. I think the last few times we've been kind of skipping the end, but let's kind of go around and kind of, since it's been a while, let's kind of go around and say what we're, any social media or if anything we're up to these days. So, Justin, start us off. Is there anything you want to plug or anything?
Well, I have started streaming. Oh boy. Yeah, so I have a DLive account. I stream games on there. I've been playing Dragon Quest IV on stream, and I do plan on playing some other games in the future. So yeah, as of right now, I'm trying to do at least one stream a week. So yeah, you can follow me over at DLive. My name over there is Photogenic Justin. You might be wondering why I'm called that. It's because my friends think I'm photogenic.
You are.
Honestly, that's what it is. Aw.
That's why this is a video podcast?
Yeah. Nobody can actually see my face, though. At least none of our listeners.
I can put your face in the next episode video if you want.
The episode that just says Xenoblade Love Part whatever, and then has just his face, and everyone will be confused as to why there's anything.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, that's what we're doing. I guess I could also announce this. We're close to, even though by the time this episode airs, it'll probably be past it. Yeah. But we're close to the 1-year anniversary of XenoChat.
Yay.
Go figure.
Yay.
And yeah, we have a 1-year anniversary special coming out. I'm also considering doing a Xenoblade cross stream. And hopefully maybe getting some other folks in on it. Maybe we can do some questing together, because I think the online still works.
I've been preparing. In fact, I actually played it today.
Oh, beautiful. I gotta turn it on, too, so I can remember how to play it in preparation for it.
I'm getting my Wii U back on Monday, aka tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, lovely. So, yeah, you two are more than welcome to join, and we can definitely get a good stream going. I don't know what I'll do to get your voice on stream, because I guess we'll do a Discord call or something, and then we could chat while we play it.
Yeah, except the only thing with that is often, I don't know if it would fully work on stream though, because what it happens is that you know how the voice is kind of picked up a few seconds later into the stream.
That's
so
true.
If you're watching the stream and like playing at the same time, you're trying to listen to the others, you kind of have your voice in double, and it kind of not at the same time. It throws me off. So I don't know if we'll be able to do a full live stream. We'd have to check into the options, see if there's something we can do about the audio to just.
Well, I have streamed before, but I had to turn my audio on the game, or on the, not the game, but on the stream on mute. Like I couldn't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can make it
You
work,
gotta turn down the capture, and if you happen to have a window open for the stream, make sure that's very low volume, if not completely muted, because otherwise you're gonna do what I did during my first stream, which was have it all high volume, and then it just sounded like 10 of me just talking at the same time.
Infinite.
Yeah, basically. It's like I was a freaking Naruto character, and I just did like Shadow Clone.
I said that and thought of Infinite Justice Gun.
All right.
But yeah, that's been what I've been doing. Otherwise, Operation Rainfall, we're starting to cover manga some more.
Oh, nice.
So we do have manga reviews coming out. I will be at a video game con in September, and also will be at Anime NYC in November.
Nice. All right, Mary, what's going on with you?
I currently finished my current big season rush. I'm relaxing a bit before I go and die in cosplay again. But yeah, I'm technically my next big confirmed con is KatsuCon, although I'm also trying to go to Anime NYC. Just I'll kind of pay a few things of KatsuCon first and see afterwards if I can afford both, because it's kind of expensive for me to go to the US, but I really want to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Possibly Anime NYC, pretty 200% KatsuCon, because it's gonna be a huge Xeno party. And saying that, I'm also inviting people to come there if they want to meet us, because we're pretty much gonna have, I think we have almost the whole main crew. It's just pretty much everyone will be there. So if you guys want to meet us, that's the place to go.
Yeah, we'll all be there, and actually, we have a Facebook group, or rather event page, set up for a big photo shoot meetup that we want to organize there.
Yeah.
And hopefully get some other little events that we can do.
I'm basically trying to launch a sort of multi-day cosplay group where we would have maybe Xenoblade on Friday, Xenosaga on Saturday, and Xenogears on Sunday. But at the same time, for now it's still kind of very rough because I was too busy to really take care of anything, but I'm about to take care a bit more of it and try to organize it better so that we can technically let people know as early as possible, hey, there's a group going on, do you want to join in? Okay, you have X amount of months to do your cosplay now, go. It's just because cosplay do take a lot of time, which is holy shit. Margie, I'll be honest, the hat is not even fully finished, and I'm already over 120 hours of work on that thing, and I'm just holy crap, did I really pass this much time on this? But yeah, we're pretty much doing that, and after that, to be honest, my next year at convention, I think I'm gonna cover that more maybe in the next episodes, but I have cons almost every month. I've checked on my lineup and I was just man, I'm insane. Okay.
Well, good luck.
But it's okay. Yeah, good luck indeed. Although, that's also why I want to do kind of a big rush for Katsu and pretty much retake my current cosplays and just work on others, but maybe at a slower rate after that, because I'm gonna kill myself. But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna pass on to Nick.
Yes. What's up, Nick?
Yeah, I will try to keep mine short and sweet because a lot of it's kind of the same as me. And I'm taking a break from the cosplay for a bit. I'm also not near as skilled as her as cosplay. I'm newer to it, but I will also be part of the Katsu stuff, the KatsuCon stuff. I am from the South. I am probably going to be next going to Arkansas Comic-Con in Little Rock, if anybody who listens to this is actually around there, and I don't think this episode will be out in time for you to make it there, just because I said that, but, I'm going to say it anyway. Other than that, I finished Saga 1, I streamed all of it, I had a few people, I made a few new friends through it, and it was awesome, so I would love some people to join me, your choice of maybe enjoy or suffer through Saga 2, depending on how you feel about that. Me?
I'll
I did try it.
Come in. And, like, you did come to my place for Otakuton, since that's where we were, like, pretty much, like, in the last 2 weeks. But, you did start Soul Saga 2 at my place to have a thirst of it.
And I can confirm that I like it a lot better than... Well, I didn't think that I would really hate it or anything, but like it's got a lot of good stuff to it. And it's more than just the story. There's actually some gameplay stuff that I really, really enjoy in it. But yeah, I will start streaming that soon. I will try to get the word out about when, but I usually try to stick to a schedule of Tuesday nights and Thursday nights at a specific time, such as like 8
we mostly
Eastern.
need to do a few setup and testing before starting to launch it officially. Just hoping that it won't give us as much trouble as the first one.
It will definitely be at least a few weeks, so maybe by the time this episode gets out, you'll catch close to the start of it or something. Other than that, I didn't really plug it before, so now that I actually post a little more on my Twitter, usually stuff like, I don't know, it's been between Smash Brothers stages, I've dug up some Xeno art on there, I like posting things from, especially Xenoblade X, just because that's like one of the only ways you can get screenshots of X is to post them on Twitter or something. And I also have tried to make it a habit of posting my cosplay a bit more. You can follow me at Nickelberg, which is Nickel and then B-U-R-G. It's a play on my name. It's usually listed as Radio Tanuki Cosplay, if not that, but that's the Twitter name anyway. And I think that's really about it for me. I'm gonna be streaming part of the time and go into that cosplay grind again in a month or so. And I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Astral Chain
next week.
When that comes out.
Me too.
Astral Chain.
I'm getting it a few days behind because I ordered it through Amazon Japan. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get the special edition.
Yeah, I really wish we had gotten that special edition in North America, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'm not really doing much. I'm still writing news articles for RPG Fan, and I still haven't put together my figures and stuff that I need to, but I'm also waiting on a cosplay that I ordered that's Xenosaga related, but there's been some difficulties, but I think it should be on its way now. I'm hopefully be prepared for KatsuCon, because I am not crafty enough to make my own cosplay.
It's fine. It's all about the fun.
Yeah.
We're just nuts and like to suffer, but like honestly, even though like they're not always like the best quality, at least like buying your cosplay keeps you sane.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
but yeah.
Expect us to come into the con looking like we stayed up 3 days in space travel on the Elsa without sleep, stuck in hyperspace or something.
All right. Well, in that case, so coming up, as Justin mentioned earlier, we will have a bonus anniversary episode. It's short and sweet. I should hopefully have it up on the anniversary, which is August 29th. Yes, which is also Xenosaga Episode 3's North America anniversary.
Although now that I think about it, that one might actually came out before this one we're currently recording.
Oh, judging by the length of this, I feel like we could almost
I'm gonna try to at least have part 2 up, at least within the next week or so. But part 3 will be a while because before that we had our Shulk episode, and I'll need to put that out sometime probably in September or October, I don't know which. And then we do have an Elma episode planned for the future, but I'm not exactly certain when and who's gonna be on that just yet. But I think that's it for the immediate future, so thanks again.
Well, we also gonna have a Torna episode because we can fill it in.
Yeah, love part 4. Love part 4. How could I forget that?
Part 4.
We'll just have to plan that soon.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, but
And now you can wrap.
No, it's okay. There's just so much love in the Xeno series. All right. Well,
there's.
Well, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you guys joining us, and I'm glad that you guys keep coming back for these episodes so we can continue our conversation. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you for waiting on us with our cosplay and convention craziness.
Oh no, that's no worries.
We could not come till now.
It would have been weird to do it without you guys, so I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and thank you.
It's really exciting to get to be part of it.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying it's really exciting to be part of it, so we're happy to be here.
It's good to hear.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and have a good night.
Yeah.
All right, take care, everyone.
Nia, I love you too. I love you and all you guys. So, let's do this together.